Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. Darian Newsom with us as well. We're Sportstime. We're with you for the next 3 hours and a ton to get to. A very busy weekend. Major League Baseball, NBA free agency opens. A lot of stuff over the weekend. Some golf action up in Detroit. So a lot going on over the weekend. We'll talk about a lot of that throughout these next 3 hours. But, Brett, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing great. Are you happy to be in the second half of the year on this July?
Yeah, hard to believe. Happy conference or college conference change day. I
really
mean,
has.
It's been a big day.
You could play that game.
You could
and flummox a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, hard to believe that's already July 1st. Very hard to believe. But, yeah, we're here, and a lot of new in college athletics today. And, yeah, we're one day closer to college football.
The big street party last night in Austin.
Interesting.
Tonight in Norman.
Yeah, good for them, I guess. I saw SMU posted this video that I thought was hilarious as they go to the ACC of Mustangs swimming up onto the Atlantic Coast, because, of course, they're joining the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Did it go down the Pecos and then the Trinity into the Gulf of Mexico?
I don't know where they came from. That's a great
Florida
question.
Keys.
Yeah.
It's a long swim.
It's a long swim. I just saw them come out of the water, so I don't know what the journey was like for the Mustangs. But, yeah, good times.
ACC leaving, none. Joining California, SMU, Stanford.
Yep.
Actually, SMU today, August 1, Cal and Stanford.
Really? See, I didn't know that. Wow.
In the very technical fine print.
Go.
But we don't get too hung up in that, do we?
No.
Big 12 leaving Oklahoma and Texas.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
No, I haven't heard that at all. Actually, went way under the table on that one.
Boy, it was the long goodbye to the Big 12.
Sure was.
And honestly, when that news broke July 20th, 21st of 2021, I would have thought they were already would be in by now.
For sure.
There was the plan that week of the blockbuster announcement, if they be in 22, for sure in 23. It took till 24.
Crazy.
It was a lot of legal wrangling. OU and Texas leave. Here's joining Arizona State, Colorado, welcome back.
Yeah.
And Utah.
Yeah. Very strange.
Utah August 1 as well.
Oh, wow, really? Yeah. How about that? And everybody else in that group is today.
Everybody else is today.
Interesting. That's very weird.
Big Ten leaving, none. They held everybody, but they got some big ones. Oregon, UCLA, USC, Washington, they all come in August 2nd.
Really? So not today. Interesting.
But they will be at Big Ten Media Days.
Of course.
In 2 weeks.
Yeah, interesting.
Pac-12. They're all gone.
They're all gone, yep.
Well, except for Washington State and Oregon State.
That's right. And I saw on Friday or Saturday they changed the website so it was only those two on the Pac-12
And last night
website.
at midnight, Pac-12 Network.
Good riddance.
Done.
Good riddance.
Did you ever see it?
I had to get free trial subscriptions for Fubo TV just so I could watch games on Pac-12 Network.
Did you need a lawyer to sign up for all that?
I mean, it was
like there's a lot of fine print.
Well, and they started changing it because when I first
you're just clicking through their terms and conditions,
of course.
And you signed up for something forever.
Of course. I mean, like literally. And so when I started doing it, it was you get a week free trial, and so it was perfect. You get it on a Saturday morning, and so during football season, you'd have it all day that day, and then you'd have it that next Saturday, and then it'd be done.
Well, you got it for football. I would have
just for a week, for the free trial. But then you're exactly right. I would do it again for basketball and get the full week. I'd have, the amount of emails I made just so I could get my free trials of Fubo.
Right there is the deal killer.
And so I would do it for basketball, and basketball was nice because you'd get a free week, and so you'd have a team going every night on Pac-12 Network, and so you could really take advantage of it. But then out of nowhere, like last year, they changed the rules on me. Instead of a free week, you got a free 24 hours. So now I'm just making free trials to watch USC play Manhattan and watch Boogie Ellis take 30 shots. I mean, it was not worth it. I hate Pac-12 Network.
They're done.
Thank the Lord.
Larry Scott killed them too.
I think I was talking to Zach earlier today, Zach Boyd, and I think we got down to the root of my real hatred to Pac-12 Network, and it goes back to when Memphis was on the road against UCLA, and the game was on Pac-12 Network
in 2014.
That's right, and I couldn't watch it.
The game that launched this era of Tiger football we're in.
And I couldn't watch it because it was on Pac-12 Network, and back then I did not have the emails or the knowledge to go get a Fubo
That was the best
TV.
Loss in Tiger football history.
100%. And so I think that was really the start of my hatred for Pac-12 Network. But it's a hatred. I mean,
10 years this year, Brian.
Oh man,
we got to let it go.
We're gonna let it go now.
And
that
I don't
they're
charge
gone.
by the half hour. But we got to let it go.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it go now that they're gone.
Darian, if I were a psychologist, what do you think I should charge by the half hour?
That's a good question. A lot of money. That's my answer.
as long as it pays the card note. Never pay the card note.
Yeah.
Reese's cups and a Coca-Cola vending
Yes.
machines.
Yeah,
all
Diet
I need.
Coke.
American, only one leaving. That's SMU. One joining.
How about that?
The Army.
Just for football only, which, whatever.
I'm the same way,
Yeah.
and I don't want to ever. I love Surface Academy football.
Absolutely.
Love what they're going and doing.
Sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely. 100%.
Any conflicts you're in,
100%.
win big.
Rooting for you all the way.
I don't know about this though.
Not a fan of it.
That was kind of the last act of Oresco too.
It was, and it was a move that I wasn't for. I mean, maybe hard to get teams to come to the American, and maybe that was just the one that you felt was the best fit. But I would have preferred a team that could come in and
have you gone through lightly shaded pencil W's and L's for the AAC?
I've not. No.
It makes it hard with Army and Navy games.
Sure it does. Oh, you're absolutely right.
Does it count? Does it doesn't count?
Oh, man, that's a mess. That's another reason why they should have just left Army.
The MAC leaving none, joining none. MAC just said we're all good.
We're good. And why would
everything cool in the MAC?
MAC's got a good thing going.
Now in 2025, UMass returns.
That's right. I forgot about that.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's gonna be very weird.
Mountain West leaving none, joining none. All good in the Mountain West.
All good, and got a TV deal today for the Mountain West.
We did.
Yeah,
sure
TNT, did. So that'll be interesting.
I think it's the best SEC move ever.
Oh yeah, I mean when you add two programs like that, I mean that's massive. When you get Texas,
Arkansas and South Carolina was really big.
Sure.
Not just because of here locally and my Arkansas ties, but it was right behind the Notre Dame NBC Lollapalooza deal that helped to start a lot of this craziness. The real start of it was the 84 Supreme Court decision that Georgia and Oklahoma, that they won. That started the proliferation of big rights fees.
Right.
Crazy thing about rights fees. We're doing it right now in the NBA. Another blockbuster deal for the NBA. Great rights deal, TV deal, starting after this year. How come ticket prices and concessions never go down after the new rights deal?
That's a great question.
They always go up.
They sure do.
That's weird. I thought you were making your money off the TV.
Yeah.
How come one league can't go out there, just sign mega deal, and because of it, we're going to have so much money that $8 Coke is going to be $6 or Diet Coke for Darian.
It'd be nice.
It's always
how it works.
It's always
This is not how it works.
We got a great rights deal. That $8 Coke's going to 10.
That's right. How about that?
How'd that happen?
Just make more money. It's weird.
Every time.
Every single time. Every single time. Did you pay attention much to the hurrah for Texas last night?
I watched the beginning because, as you know, anything Laura Rutledge is doing, I love.
Of course.
Love her to death.
Yeah.
And she was so good last night in that role, and the whole cast was there and treated it big. I didn't stay with it for long. I'm going to say first 40 minutes or so.
Yeah.
I didn't stay with it. I didn't even. I think I checked out by the time they interviewed Sarkisian.
Yeah.
But it was quite festive in Austin.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't watch any of it. I honestly, I thought it was today. I got my days mixed up. I thought it was happening today.
Today at Norman.
Yeah, and so I was anticipating today. And last night I was going through social media and saw that they were shooting off fireworks and doing a big thing. And I was like, oh, that must have been tonight. So
and half the teams, the way the schedule works this year, half will play Texas, and the other half will play OU.
Right.
Nobody plays both.
Yeah.
This year. So Ole Miss, I will see Oklahoma when they come to Oxford late October. Next year, you roll it over. I suspect for 26, 27, when the ones that didn't get whichever one will get them those years.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and that's a game that my buddy's a big Oklahoma fan. I have floated the idea, hey, let's go down to Oxford that weekend and see
11 o'clock game.
OU and
already set.
OU and Ole Miss, but big game here that weekend for me at least.
It is a big game.
Charlotte, the Biff Poggi welcome to Memphis. I don't know if I'd be able to make it to both of them.
Well, you could pull a Bruce Marshall that day.
That's true. Do we know what time the Memphis game is?
We don't, not yet.
So that would make it.
But if you could get that anywhere from 5 on.
That's true. That 11 a.m. would help.
It can be done. I've done it.
Yeah.
Those days are long over.
Sure are.
Ooh, Darian. Man, I've had those days.
Well, Brian, they're just starting for you, so hey, go
Yeah.
for it.
I mean, I gotta wait and see because I gotta see Biff Poggi. I mean, we know how I feel about Biff. Gotta see him.
There's one day. When is it? Early in the year, I think. Ole Miss plays real early and State plays later, and I thought, and then quickly said, no.
Caught yourself.
Too old.
Yeah.
You can't do it anymore. I mean, I can. It's just.
That's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
There was one early. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, already said Ole Miss and Oklahoma.
Wow. 11 a.m. It's early.
That is.
11 a.m. games. They're interesting every single time. But no, that's it's fun to see all of the things, and also on top of conference realignment, you've got all of the brands changing over. I know like Auburn went from Under Armour to Nike, and then the big one that I saw was Texas Tech going from Under Armour to Adidas, which is Patrick Mahomes' sponsor. And so on their field right now, they have the Adidas logo and Patrick Mahomes
Bet he helped out in that deal.
Specific logo. And they did this whole video because I guess, and I vaguely remember it happening, but Patrick Mahomes was at some Texas Tech game or something like that and was wearing a Texas Tech shirt or jersey or something like that, and had the Under Armour logo covered up and wrote Adidas on top of it because he's an Adidas athlete. And so they made a whole video of kind of playing off that and everybody wearing something that said Adidas on top of it and then ripping it off, and it was an Adidas logo under it. So it's been a fun day for college football.
Boy, and I got the giving out bad information out early in the week. Got it out in the first 12 minutes of the week. Way to go, Brett. It's not set for 11 o'clock.
Okay.
It's one of those floating times.
I see.
It will be in a 11 to noon window.
That sounds like game day.
Yeah.
That sounds like they're preparing for game day for that one.
Ooh.
Sure does.
Sounds like it.
Darian, how about that?
If they're leaving that window open, that sounds definitely like game day.
Huh?
So it can start as early as 11
That'd be great,
or
yeah.
as late as noon.
That'd be.
That'll make it get down.
But if you're trying to do 2 in one day, every minute counts.
Yeah, I need it to be an 11 o'clock start. If I'm going to try to do 2 in one day.
I'm trying to remember what doubleheader I did, and it was early in the year, and I'd been to like an 11 o'clock game. I want to say here,
Yeah.
Tigers and Miami opening
All
day.
right.
Yeah. Tigers in the U, and then to Oxford for whatever Ole Miss opened against.
Mm-hmm.
And get back home that night and stop by friends of mine's house.
Yeah.
And between credentials, off of belt, off of shirt, and sunburn, they said, boy, you've had a day.
Oh, man.
It's been a long day of football.
It sounds like a day right there. This weekend I spent a lot of my time watching golf. My guy playing well.
Akshay Bhatia hurt you, didn't he?
Yeah, Brett. He hurt me real bad. I mean,
Forgot how to putt.
Literally. It seemed like a lot of guys forgot how to putt.
Right, when I see that
in
long
Detroit.
putter, you know what it says to me? He doesn't know how to putt.
Yeah. It was rough. I'll be honest.
Jack Nicklaus and the great golf writer Dan Jenkins, they were famous for this. If you see that fly rod, that means he can't putt.
Maybe I need one of them when I go to the
No
golf
magic
course.
clubs, Brian.
Well, that's too bad.
Probably need a putting lesson from John Goen more than anything
I
else.
need more than just a putting lesson from John Goen, if I'm being honest.
And the player that won yesterday is an ambidextrous player.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
But he played all right yesterday.
Yeah. No, I was focused on Akshay yesterday.
I've known a couple of those in my life, and all of them can play and can kind of play equally.
Really?
Tommy West could putt right or left-handed, the Tiger football coach, but was really a better left-handed putter, but he wanted everything breaking right to left.
Interesting.
So he would adjust accordingly.
Maybe I need to try putting right-handed. Maybe that's my problem.
I don't know.
Yeah, I right-handed.
Well,
I do
you
everything
do.
else left-handed. So maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Worth a try.
It's worth trying.
I might have to. Next time I go golfing, I'll just putt everything right-handed, and then Connor will yell at me.
You just did it. I heard somebody at lunch today talking about. They asked another person, "Where are you golfing over the weekend or coming up 4th of July?"
Yeah.
And I thought, we never ask anybody, "Where are you tennising?" Where are you baseballing?
That's right.
We do ask, "Where are you bowling?"
Sure.
The bowling lanes.
Yeah.
But that is used for golf.
That's definitely just used for golf.
Now, I will ask somebody, "Where are you footballing this weekend?"
Yeah. But not.
But I mean, as a fan.
Yeah. That is interesting. I've never thought about that before.
But we
you're
use it like
absolutely
that.
Right. Golfing just kind of stands alone.
When I heard it today, it stood out.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because you would never say tennising.
No. Where are you basketballing? No, would never happen. No, just golfing. And
I've
bowling.
done the basketball too in one day.
Really?
I've done tournament games a lot of times,
yeah.
but I'm talking 2 different sites.
Jeez.
The Oxford-Memphis connection.
That'd be a little easier just because the games are shorter if you could get that window.
I also did the very rare 3.
Really?
Tigers here 11-1.
Okay.
Haul it to Oxford for 2:33-ish tip. Game ends at 5-ish.
Sure.
Back to FedEx Forum for Grizzlies that night at 7.
Jeez.
And truly, by the end of the day, just mush. I don't know what I saw.
Well,
I mean, I couldn't put together what I saw, so that was dumb.
I don't blame you.
Do 1 well instead of 3 poorly.
Yes. It's your advice for the day. Do 1 well instead of 3 poorly.
And get all mistakes out by 3:12.
That's right. Hey, that's when you want it to happen, I guess. Let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, we'll talk NBA free agency. It was real quiet yesterday evening when free agency started, but now we're getting a lot of news this morning throughout the day of some big-time moves. 3:45, we'll talk some baseball. Only 3 games today, a little triple header, but not a lot of baseball action on this Monday. 4 o'clock, David Cobb from CBS Sports will join us. We'll talk some college football and college basketball with him. 4:30, we'll talk the NFL. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Matt Pauley from KMOX will join us to talk the Cardinals and Major League Baseball. 5:30, we'll talk about what's trending. And at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Summer is here and it's time to party. 24-foot above-ground pools for $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and robotic cleaners, 20% off. Select in-stock patio furniture up to 50% off. Play gyms up to $1,000 off, and patio umbrellas 20% off. Also, 4-person hot tubs only $29.99. And don't forget about the discounting pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while supplies last. So head over to Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
Produced by Darian Newsom, we're Sports Time. He's Brian, I'm Brett, and we're with you until 6 o'clock. And we want you to be a part of our show by texting or calling at the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line 901-360-8255. All our guests will appear on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis. Happy 4th of July to everyone in our audience from the great people at 2600 Ridgeway at Lexus of Memphis, the one and only Lexus dealership in town. They're online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Call them at 901-334-9673. But stop by the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and driving in style, driving luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story has got to be NBA free agency. It's been an interesting day with the latest big news being Klay Thompson going to the Dallas Mavericks as part of a sign and trade. It's over. The dynasty is officially broken up. Now, it's not clear what Golden State will get in return for the sign and trade, and it sounds like the reporting that's being done is that it's not very close to being done. So it'll be interesting to see how this entire thing works out in the sign and trade. But yeah, it's going to be a lot different in Golden State without Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson in Dallas is going to look interesting. How will that work with Kyrie and Luka? Some of the other ones that happened. Paul George goes to the 76ers. That was tweeted out at 2:30 our time. Now, the meeting between him and the 76ers, thankfully, took place in LA, so only midnight there when all of that started to come out. But, like Woj, who I take it's probably in New York, it's a late night for him. 3:30 in the morning, tweeting that out. I don't think Woj sleeps this time of year. I don't think he sleeps.
Do you think
now.
Woj has anybody that helps him with tweets and breaking news?
Of course.
Gotta be.
He gotta have a team.
Of course.
Gotta be.
Of course.
I mean, he's got team. Certainly
Big
a
timer
team
like that has people, doesn't he?
Of course.
Yeah.
And he's got a team that makes the graphics for him and stuff like that. You've got to have somebody who's helping you out with tweets. So Paul George, a 4-year, $212 million max contract for the Philadelphia 76ers. Also reported this morning, Tyrese Maxey has agreed to a $204 million. Now, that's a good question.
That's when you've really made it.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So this Philadelphia team's going to look interesting. I mean, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid. I do worry about two of those guys with their health. Has been an issue over the last couple of years. But, Philly has definitely put themselves. And then the big one for me personally this morning, Isaiah Hartenstein, a guy that I really like, a guy that
February, I thought he was Grizzlies bound.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't know enough. I leave all the finances stuff to Keith Smith and much smarter people than me. So I don't know if that would have even been a possibility. I wanted it to be. Andre Drummond, who signed with the 76ers, was another guy that I wanted the Grizzlies to go after and pursue. But Isaiah Hartenstein signs with the Oklahoma City Thunder and
just made good better.
Oh man, they were already a force last year. They are going to be very, very tough to deal with in the
Oklahoma
future.
City always seems to fit it in, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do. Yeah.
They make it work.
Mm-hmm. And they made it work today.
My top story, after almost 3 years to the day of the historic announcement, Texas and Oklahoma are finally officially members of the SEC. That was, I think, July 20th or 21st at SEC Media Days 3 years ago. Last college football national championship year for Texas was 2005 when they couldn't tackle Vince Young in the Rose Bowl of 2006. Before that, 1969. Never in basketball. The same never in basketball for Oklahoma. Last time Oklahoma won it all in football, 2000. Josh Heupel was quarterback the last time they won it.
Oh, wow.
And played it about the same weight he appears to be at now. Before that, for Oklahoma in football, was 1985 with Jamel Holloway at quarterback. This is the best additions the SEC's ever made. The last two editions, 4 teams, Arkansas and South Carolina in 92, was real good, and then A&M and Mizzou when they came in 2012, and Johnny promptly won the Heisman Trophy that first year.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it's got to be like you were saying, all of this conference realignment. It's starting to really come to fruition. And my favorite one, we've mentioned a lot of them, but the tweet that I saw earlier that really just made my day, Brett. We officially welcome Beaver Athletics and WSU Cougars as affiliate members across 12 sports to hashtag WCC Sports, the West Coast Conference, welcoming Oregon State and Washington State
But no football,
No
right?
football, just basketball, baseball.
So they'll play in the
soccer.
West Coast Conference tournament next March.
That's right.
Wonder where that will be. Vegas.
Yeah.
They all are, aren't they?
Vegas, that's right. But that was probably the best. I know it's not the biggest, but hilarious nonetheless.
Oregon State and Washington State were left on the island.
Sure were. Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, it really is a shame what was done to them. I mean, and it kind of felt like, okay, at least we have
cruel.
Stanford and Cal with them. Stanford and Cal said, we're going to go to the opposite
We're
coast.
gone. We're out
You
here.
can have the West Coast. We're going to the
I mean, we
Atlantic
hate each other,
coast.
but we're going to travel together.
Yes, we're going to travel together. So definitely a
But
big
they are
day.
going to play the Apple Cup this year, just
They are.
early in the year.
That's right.
No Bedlam. No Bedlam for far as the eye can see.
Yeah, which is hard to believe. It's going to be a lot of new, and at least we're starting to kind of see those new conferences take shape. SMU going to the ACC was interesting to see. Obviously, Texas and Oklahoma, like you've been talking about, going to SEC has been a big party for both those places, and it'll be interesting come SEC Media Days what it looks like with two more members in the SEC.
My not top story, more than halfway through the baseball season, everybody's gotten at least to the 81 point. There's some out there with 86 and 87 already played. But here's what the playoffs would look like. 1 seed in the American League and a bye would be Cleveland. 2 and a bye would be Baltimore. 3 seed winner of the West, Seattle. Then you would have Kansas City. They would play Kansas City. The 4 and the 5 would be wild cards. Yankees hosting, playing Minnesota. National League, Philadelphia and the Dodgers, the 1 and the 2. Hosting would be would be Milwaukee playing St. Louis. They would be the 3. The Cardinals would be the 6, and then you'd have the 5 at the 4. San Diego at Atlanta. How much will that change over the next half?
It's a good question.
It is in American League East.
Oh, yeah.
That is big to be 2 or 4.
No, you're right about that one. And I was looking earlier at the that NL wild card is really tight, and obviously a lot of year left to play, but a lot could happen with that. So,
Seemingly everybody in it.
It really feels like, other than like,
will that
the
really
White
help
Sox
attendance?
good question.
We've heard that was one of the hooks for it.
Oh yeah.
Now let's see.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. And when we come back, it's been a lot of movement with the NBA as free agency started 5 o'clock our time last night. We'll talk about the latest moves and what to expect from some of these teams. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter,
Whoa, Jesse.
Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Goodman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can easily find coverage options that fit your budget. If only it was that easy to name your baby.
How about Jaden?
Nope.
Okay. Michael?
Went to middle school with a glue-eating Michael.
Sebastian?
Dated one in college.
How about Damien?
Vampire name.
All right. Greg?
Not feeling it.
Okay. No worries. No worries. Jeffrey?
Oh, love that one.
Wait, really?
No.
Find coverage options that fit your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
I got him on the line, Jason, the main man Marshall, and he's ready to rock and gossip Volkswagen on the pike.
Randy, it's vacation time, so take the road wherever it leads you with 42 miles per gallon on the highway in a brand new 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE for only $249 a month.
That's an awesome deal at Gossip Volkswagen on the pike. And Jason, my main man Marshall, everybody in Memphis knows when it comes to a great deal, it's all about choices.
Take your pick from 2024 Tiguan S front-wheel drive or a 2024 Taos SE for only $279.28 a month, plus 0% for 60 months on all new 24 Taos. And you know my motto, make me an offer, because nothing reasonable will be refused.
Ask for Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossip Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike. Online, gossipvwmemphis.com.
Where we're charging forward and charging less every day.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Several EMS calls out here the last 15-20 minutes. TDOT's been busy with those help trucks with a couple of disabled vehicles. Traffic looks clear right now. 240 getting on to 385 Billmore Parkway. That's only going to get busier here the next few minutes headed out towards Collierville. Hey, Havenly Showers is your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub to curbless shower conversion. Check it out at havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stott, Sportsworthy, and Brian Gates.
Well, NBA free agency is off and rolling. We've got a lot of moves, and really last night, and I was a little confused at first because I sit there at 5 o'clock. I'm expecting my phone to just start blowing up with all of the moves and deals, and 5:05 rolls around and 5:10. I'm just kind of sitting there going, all right, where's all the action?
Kind of limped into it.
And then I saw Keith Smith with a great tweet pointing out that this new CBA is very much against tampering and kind of lays it out very clearly.
You don't want to be the team that the example gets set.
No, not at all. And so that's why you saw it very slow last night to kind of start. But now
they were all done. They were just slow in the announcement.
Exactly, yes. There's still tampering going on. It's just they got to be strategic of how they show it. But what has been kind of the deals or maybe the things that have stood out to you so far with free agency?
Well, just breaking 30 minutes ago or so, Mr. Do Something, DeAnthony Melton.
Yeah,
he did something. 1 year, almost $13 million deal with Golden State.
Yeah, good for him. I know
great for him.
A ton of people here love DeAnthony Melton.
The money's unbelievable.
Sure, yeah.
And wait till the new TV deal kicks in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you're seeing that all over the place. Just a ton of money.
Klay Thompson's the story.
Of course, Klay Thompson's the story, and
walks into the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Jerseys going into the rafters at Chase Center. No matter what he does here.
That's right. Yeah. But we'll see. I'm curious to see how this fit plays out with Dallas, and curious to see what Golden State gets in return with it being a sign and trade. And I don't know. I like to think that it's a good fit with Luka and Kyrie and now Klay, but I got to see it first. And I know I like what I see with both Luka and Kyrie. But you throw Klay in there, and I'm just curious of how that ends up working.
Almost $30 million a year for Isaiah Hartenstein with his Oklahoma City Thunder deal for a guy that averaged 8 points and 8 rebounds.
Yeah, no, you're
just
right
imagine
about
if he
that.
averaged 25-10.
That's right. Yeah, imagine. And so no, I was worried last, I guess, Friday when we were talking to Keith Smith and kind of asked him about New York and what they had done the previous couple of days, extending OG and getting Mikal Bridges via trade, and what did that mean for Isaiah Hartenstein. And he kind of said there are ways the Knicks can make it work, but it's going to be tough. So it's most likely that he's going somewhere else. And then I started to get worried of, oh, man.
The Knicks were already ordering rings, too.
Absolutely. And, I got worried. And then, man, this morning, seeing that it was the Oklahoma City Thunder that got him.
So far, who's the team to best push Boston?
Team to best push
in the
Boston.
East. Philly?
If they're right.
I don't know if I trust Philly.
If they're right, yep.
I don't know that I trust them. Will they ever get right, Darian?
Yeah.
Something always gets them.
Mm-hmm.
Something always gets Joel.
Yeah. When that's,
And mainly him, not the team, because
sure.
Maxey is not a part of that curse or whatnot.
Yeah.
So Maxey is full steam ahead. Something always happens to Embiid.
Yeah.
Maxey with the max deal.
Absolutely.
Good for
204, wasn't it?
He's unbelievable. Unbelievable player. I would say probably still Milwaukee. But I think this is a big year for Milwaukee.
They're 2 deals away from being 2 deals away.
It feels like it.
When DeLon Wright was here, did you ever think he'd be a 1-year, $3.3 million player?
No, I did not.
Did you ever think he would still be in the league by now?
Yeah, I thought he could still be in I like DeLon Wright. I was a big DeLon Wright guy.
Were you?
I just thought needed the right situation to play in.
Well, he got it right.
He sure did.
Hey, I have a curious one for you, too.
Okay.
About Cade Cunningham.
I love Cade Cunningham.
If you're Detroit, why do you give him $226? I understand the he's the rock or the anchor, but you're not going anywhere.
Right.
You may as well stay in the rebuild mode. Why give him $226?
I love that hire for JB Bickerstaff to land there. It's more sense than never mind the money, what they did with Monty Williams.
Oh, no,
they needed that young that guy that
he develops. He
could be adaptable to a really, really, really young locker room.
Sure.
They're going to be young a while.
They're going to be young a while. I like what they've done, though, honestly, and I feel like I might be on an island in terms of roster.
You like Tobias coming back home?
I like Tobias, and they go out and get Tim Hardaway Jr. over the weekend in a trade. I just think those are guys. Look, I think we can all agree that team was bad last year, and they couldn't shoot the ball. They had a lot of really fun guards. None of them can shoot the ball. And so you bring in Tobias, who can shoot. You bring in Tim Hardaway Jr. that can shoot. Older guys that can kind of be those veterans in this locker room, both coming from places where they did a good amount of winning. You bring JB in, that I think is a really good coach. They went out and hired an assistant coach before they even made a head coaching change, and he has this resume where he is an unbelievable shot developer. And so I think you've got these guys, Cade Cunningham, who is undoubtedly a star if he can stay healthy. But shooting is kind of up and down.
Are they really just developing him for the Lakers?
Probably. I love Cade Cunningham. I think he could be a superstar, but it's all determined on health. Jaden Ivey can't shoot the ball. Ron Holland,
he may be on the move. He may be on the move.
Definitely could be on the move. Ron Holland, who they just drafted, can't shoot.
Did we think Ivey couldn't shoot in college?
Yes.
To this level? Oh, really?
I
thought he was just a drive guy?
Oh, yeah. The guy can't shoot. But my point, though, you brought in a guy who has a great reputation in the NBA of developing shots. If he can get Cade Cunningham, a consistent knockdown three-point shooter, if he can get Jaden Ivey just to a 34% shooter, you develop Holland. This team, it's going to take a couple years, but they can be much better than they are right now.
Because if you wanted to rack up rebounding numbers, that was the team to do it with this year, because they were going to miss a lot.
Oh, yeah. And they've got good centers. They've got good big men, which I think you could see a move there. And they've already said, they're cutting ties with James Wiseman. But you've still got a good amount of big men. I wouldn't be surprised if they ship one of those guys somewhere and maybe try to bring in another veteran presence. Because you're right. They're just so young, and nothing's going to change that for a long time.
Speaking of shooting, he is a pretty good shooter leading the pack. Trajan Langdon was a pretty good shooter at Duke, by the way.
Yeah. And I think he's
the greatest
player
ever out of Alaska.
Somebody's got no Carlos Boozer. Carlos Boozer
was Boozer from Alaska.
Absolutely.
Too? Oh, I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
Boozer's much better.
Yeah, Boozer takes the cake.
I didn't know
that one.
High hard one.
Okay.
Is James Wiseman a bust?
probably. I mean, it's that game we always play of like, if you're just always injured, can you call that a bust? And he's been pretty injured, but I would say we're getting close to bust status.
And shouldn't he have brought that championship pedigree to Detroit? That was the whole point of him being in Oakland or Golden State. He was supposed to be learning.
Yeah.
By now he should resemble some of those
how much
traits.
Of the championship pedigree was really him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
how much
he
was
should
in
have
the
learned.
DNA.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he was kind of
molded.
molded.
Walking by though.
I don't know. Over there, you might. It's good question.
Pull it up to the.
But he saw the right things going on. That's what I would say. He saw the right way to do it. I would think some of it would have translated.
Did Moody get any of that?
So if that's the case, he's a bust. Yeah, I was trying for Wiseman. I used to like him. He was my guy.
Oh, I love James Wiseman. But yeah,
I saw one game here that was something to see.
Man, he had
he only had 3. I saw one of the 3.
Yep, 2 at home, 1 in Oregon.
And that left our noses wide open. I mean, we were salivating for more. That
of course.
Yeah, leave that Band-Aid alone.
Of course. And so it just hadn't panned
So I go
out
see I guess the last game, like a Tuesday night before that Friday announcement.
Yeah.
And the next day, we talked about him. My brother called me and says, "Tell me how good he is." I said, "Are you ready for it? You ready for the comp?"
Oh, no.
I just saw a left-handed Keith Lee.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? Wow. That's quite the comparison, Brett.
Yeah,
Yep, that's the comparison.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Never saw him again.
Never saw him again. Just like that, he was gone. Yeah, you saw him South Carolina State?
That's it.
Yep.
That is it.
South Carolina State. That was the first game of the season. They played UIC. No, both those games were at home. This is the Barclays Center Classic that was played at FedEx Forum.
And then at Oregon game.
And then at Oregon was his last one.
He was just so much better than him, than the others. I mean, he just was.
He was a great player. It just hadn't panned out in the NBA.
Just didn't pan out.
And, that happens a lot. And now,
has it all been injury?
No.
I think it's between the ears.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's between the ears.
I think it's a little bit of everything. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt a little bit and say injuries played a big role in it.
Because he's healthy. I mean, you can clearly see him running up and down the floor like a gazelle last year. He's
one
healthy.
team left to hire a coach. What's Washington just going to take the time?
Yeah, Washington's just going to
need to get in a hurry.
Going to trade and draft players and go through summer
Magic's
league
in town.
Yeah, I mean,
working with football team.
Might as well hire him.
Valanciunas is in town now as well.
Yeah,
he is.
Geez.
He's headed to Washington.
That's right. So I don't know. I mean, that's the big question. I'm kind of surprised that the Pistons filled their hole before Washington filled theirs, but I don't know. I mean, I just don't know what is left out there, and honestly, like how much better of a job is Washington than Detroit. And so somebody will take it, but like, that candidate pool is starting to shrink.
It is.
And who knows who they're going to end up going and getting. I couldn't even make a guess of who they could go get.
Woj has people. Y'all are convinced of that.
Absolutely has people.
Okay.
You got to have people when you're...
Starter job for Sam Cassell? Would he leave Boston for it?
That's
Probably
a
not.
Great idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would leave Boston.
I don't know if he would leave, but it's but it's only so many of those head coaching jobs. You can't turn it down.
True.
Just 30.
That's true. But I don't know. I don't know if I would leave a job for the Washington.
Aren't they for sale?
Who?
Washington.
Celtics, yes, they are.
No, I know the Celtics that news, but in what either for sale or just sold.
I think for sale, maybe for sale. I believe.
And you got a couple of teams out there like that.
Definitely do. Kind of weird.
New Jersey just sold, and she was the wife of one of the 2 famous Koch brothers that bankroll Wichita State basketball and a lot of conservative politics. Mm-hmm. She was reared. She's a Conway, Arkansas girl.
Really? Shout out Conway.
Yeah.
How about that?
Went to University of Central Arkansas there.
Now,
but met him. He was a little older, not a lot older, but a little, and met her. She was a model.
Good for her.
And now owns.
How about that?
The Brooklyn Nets.
Sounds like a good life to me. Can't complain about that.
Salute Conway.
Why not? Shout out Conway. I thought this was interesting. Kind of last deal I want to bring up before we get to a break. Derek White agrees to a 4-year, $125.9 million extension with the Boston Celtics. Played unbelievably well for them throughout the playoffs, gave them a ton. And
he's got a next contract in him.
He definitely does. I think showed a lot of people what he can do, and so was really glad to see that. CP3 to the Spurs. What does that do for you? That's kind of ever since PG and Clay.
It's almost perfect.
That's kind of gone under the radar now.
Because Pop's never win anything again, and Paul's never winning anything to begin with.
Well, yeah. Can play with Wemby, though. I guess that's.
And I said it in 2011. He will never be on a championship parade float.
Yeah.
And he hadn't been.
Hasn't been on some teams where they said he's gonna do it, but has never.
If it wasn't for that fateful day David Stern reverse a trade, he may have been in L.A. I mean,
good point. Definitely could have been in L.A.
But didn't get it done at a lot of places.
No. I mean, it's been
from Wake Forest on. Well, I don't think he ever won anything in high school.
Wow.
Not a state championship.
No, not at all.
Most recognizable thing I can recall from him, high school, hitting 60 points on his grandfather's birthday when his grandfather had died. But I don't think he won championships.
Interesting. Yeah, CP3 is another one when we kind of talk about like immaculate grid players. Like he is really
developing into one.
Got the teams. You could use him for a lot of different teams. But definitely a lot of good stuff going on with NBA free agency.
Is this his last team?
Should be.
I think
should be.
Yeah, it feels like it. But if anything else comes about over the next couple hours, we'll definitely circle back to this during What's Trending and talk about some more if they come up. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk some baseball.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
Marty McNate at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown is turning back prices to give you the best deal in this decade.
Doc gave me orders to turn back time with the 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE. We got it for $249 a month, and it gets 42 miles per gallon highway. That's much better than my DeLorean, Randy.
You got that right, Marty McNate. And I hear at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, you got choices.
Take your pick from 2024 Tiguan S front-wheel drive or 2024 Teos SE for $279.28 a month.
Great Scott, McNate. That's Gossett Volkswagen Germantown on Winchester Road. Plus, get 0% for 60 months on tows.
Your future is whatever you make of it, Randy, so get to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com.
To understand what makes Genesis Diamonds so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back over 40 years to the diamond cutting capital of Tel Aviv, Israel. That's where Genesis owner Boaz Ramon grew up, in the center of the diamond universe. His connections with the best diamond cutters allowed him special access, giving rise to a thriving wholesale business here in the United States. Then, after a few years, this wholesaler changed the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices he had sold to the jewelry stores. The no middleman concept became an instant success. Today, Genesis Diamonds provides that extraordinary value to people right here in Middle Tennessee, leading the industry with the highest quality diamonds that still come straight from the best cutters, offered at the guaranteed best price of any jewelry store in America. Genesis Diamonds, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes and popular importance extended.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. And in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can easily find coverage options that fit your budget. If only it was that easy to name your baby.
How about Jaden?
Nope.
Okay. Michael?
Went to middle school with a glue-eating Michael.
Sebastian?
Dated one in college.
How about Damien?
Vampire name.
All right. Greg?
Not feeling it.
Okay. No worries. No worries. Jeffrey?
Oh, love that one.
Wait, really?
No.
Find coverage options that fit your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
It's time to ride during the Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Summer Sales Event. Check out 43 MPG Highway in a new 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. $17,935 or $249 a month. Need extra room for your vacation? Let Gossett make it happen with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander. $30,490 or $449 per month. And go for miles and miles with 420 total range in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. $599 a month. Plus peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Military rebate, 500 royalty rebate. Mirage Outlander 84 months. Mirage RHO 10934. MSRP 18435. Outlander RZO 55981. MSRP 31490. PHEV RZO 35245. MSRP 48065. Includes 1095 acquisition fee. Sale price includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes processing fee of $695. Lease terms includes processing fee of $695. 15 cents per mile excess wear and tear. With approved credit, see dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stott, Sportsworthy, and Brian Gates.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we got to talk some Major League Baseball. Only 3 games on the schedule today.
The definition of a light schedule tonight, Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and they've tried to space it
One of the
out.
games going now.
Going right now. Astros up 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th against Toronto. They've tried to space it out to where triple header on MLB Network. This first game got delayed. Now, it's been very fast since it started. It was supposed to start at 2. I think.
Why did this get delayed?
I think weather.
It's in Toronto, isn't it?
Oh, that's right. It is in Toronto. I guess both those places would be indoors.
What's going on with the roof?
I think. Maybe they had some sort. I saw pictures. Maybe they had some sort of
that hanky-panky in that hotel, is
no,
it?
I hope not. They might have had like a ceremony before, and maybe they actually didn't start as late as I thought they did. But I was seeing some stuff that said.
Is today a special day in Canada?
I think so. Yeah,
we should know this, shouldn't we?
July 1st. July.
Because they had the special jerseys.
Yeah, I think it's like packing day or something.
No, that's the day after Christmas.
Canada Day. Oh,
Okay.
Canada Day. Yeah, I knew that.
But did you say packing or boxing?
Boxing Day.
You said packing day.
Did I say packing day?
Yeah,
Whatever.
That's the day
Tomato,
after Christmas,
tomato.
isn't it? And that was the original regifting.
Yeah, that's right.
Box up stuff you didn't want or need.
That's right. Celebrates the anniversary of Canadian Confederation, which occurred on July 1st, 1867.
Way to go, Canada.
Good for them. So that's what that was today. They did a big ceremony for it, and so we started like 20 minutes late, which, cool, whatever. But that game's been rolling.
We can't factor that into the first pitch time?
Yeah, interesting.
Start the ceremony a little earlier?
Interesting, yeah, I guess not. But that game's flying by, bottom of the 6th, 1-0. But yeah, 2 more games today. Mets Nationals at 5:45. Brewers Rockies at 7:40. That's it, Brett. That's all the baseball we've got today.
Good night for me to go to AutoZone Park and I am. Very rare Monday night game.
Very rare
with
Monday
the new scheduling
game.
construct post-COVID.
Yeah, so that I'll be honest. When you said that, I was about to say today's Monday, Brett. You're not going to see the Red
think
Wings
the
tonight.
only one all year.
I would be surprised if it wasn't the only one.
Very festive week at AutoZone Park.
Of course.
Wednesday night will be the fireworks.
Yeah.
Because they have it set up around minor league baseball where everybody's either ending a homestand on the 3rd or beginning one on the 4th. where everybody can get in on those
Sure.
festivities because
That's
it's a really
awesome.
popular night
Yeah.
for everybody around baseball. The sadness from this weekend in baseball, another great one.
Yeah.
Friday night, the news late about Orlando Cepeda. The baby bull, Cha-Cha, famous for being with the Giants, Rookie of the Year in 58. They go to San Francisco, and that was his first year there at Seal Stadium. And he was their first big star because they viewed Willie Mays as New York star.
Yeah.
Now, they loved him.
Sure.
But Orlando Cepeda was the kind of the first, homegrown star for them. And then in 67, MVP of the National League and on a World Championship team with the Cardinals. Really great teams. And that famous Sports Illustrated cover of all the Cardinals sitting in front of their lockers in red and they're all in civilian clothes with the lockers adorned with the uniforms in red Shane dates is in his uniform, and now there are only two left. It's the last two in that line.
Wow.
Dal Maxville
Holy cow.
and Julian Javier.
Wow. Yeah, that was definitely sad news to see over the weekend. Just a lot of...
And I was worried when he wasn't around the Rickman festivities, and now we know he was really battling.
Definitely sad. Some better baseball news. Last night, Wyatt Langford, cycle. How
and
about
an inside the park home run.
That's right.
Was that his home run?
Yeah, I believe
for the cycle?
That was his home run. No. He hit it out for the cycle because I was watching.
But didn't he also have an inside the parker?
I think he did. Yeah.
That's got to be in rare air.
It's got to be in rare air. Let's see. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I was in and out of that game.
I was too, and I saw his post game interview, and you can tell I did a very poor job of listening.
That's okay. Let's see if I can find his game from last night. But whether he had an inside the park home run,
he had a cycle.
Having a cycle is incredible. And
first rookie to have a cycle with the Rangers since O.D.B. McDowell.
Wow, is that right?
Can't miss, but
holy cow. Yeah, maybe he didn't have a cycle. Maybe that was the triple you got confused with.
Maybe so.
4 hits for him, 5 at bats, 4 RBI. That's incredible. 3 runs.
Rangers on the struggle bus too.
Yeah, and a big win for them yesterday against the Orioles, 11-2. And the Orioles have been playing really well. I have a big number that I'm debating using.
I'm going
today,
baseball.
About the Orioles.
I'm going baseball and a local tie.
Really? Huh. Interesting. I literally have no idea where you're going to go with that.
Vincent Bo Jackson.
Oh, and Bo Jackson, very prominent over
Memphis
the weekend.
Chicks.
That's right.
Into the Royals Hall of Fame this weekend.
And a fun story that he had with his grandson when he was doing his press conference, and his grandson loves watching his highlights, and Bo's wife said, "Okay, we don't want to watch any more Bo Jackson highlights."
See, I think somebody like Bo Jackson should be in that Memphis Sports Hall of Fame.
I think so. Yeah.
MVP of the Liberty Bowl.
Yep.
And then launched that career here with the Chicks.
Yeah. I think should be no question about it. I mean, shouldn't that
be honored?
Absolutely should be honored, but guess not. But we need to go ahead and get to a break and wrap up our first hour. When we come back, talking some college football and college basketball with our guy, David Cobb.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. You'll find the lowest rates on Tuesday through Thursday afternoons. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
Buster's Butcher at 199 South Highland Street in Memphis. We're a full-service butcher shop offering a curated selection of quality meats, cheeses, prepared foods, and more. At Buster's, our skilled butchers are also experienced chefs. They'll be delighted to guide you on selecting, preparing, and cooking our fine selection of products. We're like nothing else you can find in Memphis. Learn more at bustersbutcher.com and come see why every cut counts at Buster's Butcher.
Case IH is a proud supporter of the Mississippi Farm Bureau, and thanks to a membership benefits partnership, Mississippi Farm Bureau members receive a discount of up to $500 on every qualifying Case IH tractor and piece of equipment you purchase. This discount may be used with other promotions, rebates, or offers. So join Mid-South Ag Equipment and the Mississippi Farm Bureau and pocket up to $500 in savings. Call Mid-South Ag at 662-890-3141 to get your discount today.
Jenkins Floors and More invite you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Goodman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
It's time to ride during the Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Summer Sales Event. Check out 43 MPG Highway in a new 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage, $17,935 or $249 a month. Need extra room for your vacation? Let Gossett make it happen with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $30,490 or $449 per month. And go for miles and miles with 420 total range in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, $599 a month. Plus peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Military rebate, 500 royalty rebate, Mirage Outlander 84 months, Mirage RHO 10934, MSRP 18435, Outlander RZO 55981, MSRP 31490, PHEV RZO 35245, MSRP 48065. Includes 1095 acquisition fee. Sale price includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes processing fee of $695. Lease terms includes processing fee of $695. 15 cents per mile excess wear and tear. With approved credit, see dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
We are Sports 56 WHBC
Joining Brian and Brett now on Sports Time is National College Football writer for CBS Sports, Memphis native and Tennessee grad, who you can find on Twitter X at David W. Cobb. It's David Cobb.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our family leisure studio, and joining us now, talk some college football and college basketball, David Cobb from CBS Sports. David, I know we've talked about it off air, but I guess I need to formally congratulate you on this show for your Tennessee Volunteers and their championship in college baseball. Congratulations.
Wow, thank you. How about them Vols? Wow, what a
great win.
Well, you don't sound really excited, Brian.
You know how much that pains me to congratulate
We started
you
the show last Tuesday with Rocky Top, and he was distressed.
Yeah, I was. I didn't like it.
Well, you know what, man? It's been a long time coming for the Vols, and it finally feels like '98 again because they beat Florida State for a national title.
That's right.
Which is exactly what they did in football a quarter century ago. So, yeah, man, that was a lot of fun.
The ghost of Marcus Outzen.
Yeah, I thought about that. How about that? Pretty wild. So anyway,
David,
cool.
I've asked a lot of people this question: who's next in the men's athletic department to win one at UT? Is it Rick Barnes or is it Josh Heupel?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And the fact is, you could kind of see it with either one.
You sure could.
I think football is still a couple years away. Basketball's in that window, though, where they could get it done. They got to replace Dalton Knecht.
That's almost unanimously been the reaction, and my comeback to that is, if you didn't win it this year with Dalton Knecht, then when are you?
Well, you never know. If you didn't win it with Peyton Manning, why were you going to win
Great
it with
comeback.
That didn't make any
Great comeback.
that didn't make any sense, and it happened. So
right.
We'll see. Yeah, they lose Donks next. They had Chaz Lanier,
and in
Garland,
fairness, this was a really good team for Vitello. But the team 2 years ago that Ole Miss won, Tennessee was the best team in baseball that year.
It's weird how sports go like that.
It is.
You never know. And football is less like that, I think, than baseball and basketball. I think baseball and basketball, there's more potential for randomness. You could see a Tennessee winning the NCAA tournament in basketball as a 3 seed maybe, whereas the idea that somebody's going to come into the college football playoff this year and win it as a 9-3 team, I mean, that seems kind of far-fetched. So I think Tennessee football, maybe in the 2025, like when Nico is in his second year as the starter, I think that might be their year where, like, it's the year for them to get it done, because he could go to the draft after that. And if he's as good as everybody thinks he's going to be, then he might be good enough to get him in the hunt.
Yeah, and David, we're going to love it. And all the teams that get in, whether you're the 8 or 9 or 10 or 11 or you're the non-Power 5 as the 12 in the playoff this year, you're going to accept it. You're going to love it. When will that wear off? When will people realize, and we will expand to 14 and 16 quickly, but when will that wear off of, we're getting in the playoff, but we're going nowhere in it, and I'm kind of missing going to that bowl game.
I give it 1 year. I think the playoff buzz will last 1 year.
1 year,
and then you'll start. Yeah, I'm serious, because you're going to get these teams, your Ole Miss, your Penn State, your Tennessee, all these really strong programs that have been knocking on the door. They're going to be happy to get in that first time, but then after that, they're going to want more than just getting in. They're going to want to win.
I've said it to Ole Miss friends of mine. I can see. All right, let's say Ole Miss is the 10 seed, you travel to South Bend and you play, and that will feel great. It'll be historic. Or you're the 7 and you host, and you host the de facto Oxford Bowl against Notre Dame or Clemson or someone, but you lose. About 2 weeks later, I'm going to be thinking, sure wish I was packing to go off to the the Capital One Bowl or something.
Yeah, that's interesting. The lost bowl game there is. Yeah, I think the idea though is that you at least had a shot to play for the national title.
But
I think that'll. Well, you could at least trick yourself into thinking you did.
I mean, Binghamton really thinks they're in the mix for one shiny moment. Breaking news, they ain't.
Yeah, but wouldn't you rather play in the NCAA tournament than win the NIT or win the CBI or win the CIT?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's kind of to me where these bowl games are headed, and I'm at least glad that we're incorporating the bowl games into the quarterfinal structure. So all those what we used to call New Year's Six games, they're now quarterfinal games. Fiesta Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Rose Bowl. Those are all still going to be a part of it. So I at least appreciate that. But when you get down to the Capital One Bowl and the GoDaddy.com Bowl and all these, I mean, how much prestige is going to be left with those things?
Unpopular take. I know everybody, and I am too. We're looking forward to those games on campus. But when we go to 14 or 16, I want to get away from that and incorporate more bowls and give value to Gator Bowl, Music City, and bowl games like that.
Well, I'm curious to see how the on-campus environments work out, because so much of a stadium being full during the regular season has to do with the normal rhythms, the patterns of Saturday afternoons in the fall, the season ticket base accounting for half the people in the stands, all the tradition and the normal order of college football. Well, now all of a sudden you throw in a random, previously unscheduled home game in the month of December that people don't really have a whole lot of advance notice for, and it might not be on a Saturday. Like, are we really going to get 100,000, in the stadium for all these games? I don't know, because think about, it's by far not a perfect comparison, but think about when a women's basketball team hosts a game in the first or second round of the NCAA tournament. You don't often get a crowd that's just, busting at the seams in those arenas. And so, I don't know, I'm just curious to see, are the home environments going to deliver like we think they are in the college football playoff?
That's a good question. You mentioned earlier Chaz Lanier, one of the transfers that will be a part of Tennessee's basketball team this year. He was awesome last year at North Florida. I saw on Twitter that he was the first player since Kevin Durant to complete Rick Barnes's KD drill. Do you know anything about this KD drill? That he supposedly is the first person since KD that they named it after to complete this. It requires making 9 out of 10 shots from 7 consecutive different spots on the floor. Well, do you know anything about this, and what do you expect Chaz Lanier to bring to this Tennessee team next year?
Oh, you're the second person to mention that to me, so I guess it's legitimate.
I guess. I don't know. I just saw it on Twitter. I don't know. I was hoping you would know about it.
Don't question the legitimacy of the X machine, please, David.
Yeah, if it's on Twitter or it's on X, we know it's true.
No, of course.
And shout out to Elon Musk for investing in Memphis. So we got to rock with with his social media platform. I think that's the whole deal with Chaz Lanier is that he's going to be this elite shot maker. Now, I do feel bad for Chaz Lanier because everybody's going to say, guess what? He's the next Dalton Connect. And that's just unfair. I mean, it just is. That's a really difficult set of shoes to try and step into. And so that's ultimately going to be the really difficult thing for this season with him is he's getting that buzz, that top 10 type of transfer buzz that it's just going to be a tough act to follow with everything that Dalton Connect did. I think he's going to be a really good player for him, though, because he's a shot maker, and that's what Kevin Durant is. But Chaz Lanier is not 6'10". In fact, he's not even 6'6", like Dalton Connect was. He's 6'3", 6'4", if I'm not mistaken. So, I would just tell the Tennessee fans out there who are seeing that stuff just to temper your expectations because Dalton Connect was one of those once-in-a-generation players. And if Chaz Lanier even comes in and averages 15 a game and shoots 37% from 3, well, that's not quite what Dalton Connect did, but that would still be pretty dang good.
Have you done, or are you waiting closer to college basketball season to do that column on the potential prospects of who could be the next Dalton Connect?
Well, I do have my transfer rankings that are pretty much at this point finalized, and I've got Chaz Lanier ranked quite highly in that. And the thing about the Dalton Connect, though, is that I don't know that anybody had him ranked in the top 25 in terms of transfers nationally going into last season. You know, thankfully I had him ranked, but I only had him around 70, if I recall, and that was obviously way too low. So, you know, it's hard to peg those guys, and then sometimes they really pop. So, yeah, it'll be fun to see. It'll be interesting to kind of see who comes up because, I mean, he made all the difference for Tennessee. And so there's a team out there right now in college basketball that's not being discussed, that's going to be undervalued because they're going to have some transfer that nobody is really ready for.
If they played 1-on-1 10 times, how many times would Bronny James beat Dalton Connect?
They might be playing 1-on-1. They're both on the Lakers Summer League team. So kind of wild that Bronny is actually going to be the more famous rookie on that Lakers team, even though he was picked 55 and Connect was picked 17. But, yeah, Brett, I'd say that Dalton Connect's going to win 9 out of 10 games in 1-on-1. Now,
okay, here's one.
You know,
in a game of 1-on-1, who do you take, Bronny James or Boogie Ellis?
Ooh, that's a good one. They probably played at USC. I think that's a relatively even matchup, but I think Boogie Ellis would have the edge there.
Because Boogie Ellis could say, you took my spot, couldn't he?
Well, yeah, Boogie Ellis is a proven multi-year college player who averaged pretty good numbers. Bronny is a one-and-done prospect who really had an abbreviated freshman season. And here's the only reason why I'm really kind of willing to hold out some optimism for Bronny James is because of how disjointed his freshman season was. I mean, he missed the first 8 games. And he
I'll
really
do that too, but he's not growing.
Yeah. He's not. I mean, I think the best case scenario for Bronny James is to be a role player in an NBA rotation one day. I mean, I don't think we're talking about an NBA starting caliber guard here because he doesn't have the size, and he's not some elite, crazy athlete like John Morant, who you can say, well, he's undersized, but look at what he does with the basketball in his hands. I mean, at best, you're hoping that he turns out like a DeAnthony Melton and is really pesky defensively and can get you, 8 or 9 points a game off the bench.
But it's really incredible, David, if you just slightly disagree with it, and I, with all the preface, with all the fine print of, yes, we're all so glad that last summer did not turn into a nightmare and that he's getting well for that. Everybody should know and assume that that's baked in the cake. Nobody is wishing ill will upon him. But if you slightly disagree, I love the other side that they want to attack you as being triggered or why does this make you so mad? It doesn't make me mad. I just thought sports, and especially at that level, was about meritocracy. It was about the best playing, regardless of who you are or where you come from. And that other side loves to give examples of people kind of getting a break in sports. And I saw one article that pointed out Joe Buck, son of Jack Buck, Skip Carey, Chip Carey, son of Skip Carey, grandson of Harry Carey. Then you go into the management roles and the Lacob family with Golden State, and even Stephen Jones and Charlotte Jones with the Cowboys. Don't you see can't people see a difference between a broadcaster or a front office exec that is very, very subjective? Playing on the field of play is objective.
Well, yeah, so that's the deal with Bronny is eventually the proof will be in the pudding there. And so I really don't have any problem at all with the Lakers burning a late second-round draft pick, to keep LeBron James happy. I mean, LeBron James is one of the greatest athletes of all time. If this is something that he wants, I don't think it's anyone else's place to say no. I mean, if this is what he's dead set on, then let him. He's LeBron James. He's earned the right to throw his weight around a little bit. But eventually, yeah, Brett, it's a lot different than a front office role or a broadcasting role. It's, there's only 15 of these roster spots, and we've got very specific, detailed statistics and, deep analytics and everything that can really tell us whether or not this is an NBA player. He'll get a couple of years to prove that he is or he isn't, and then it'll kind of be on the merits. And so
I even heard one, David, infer that Peyton and Eli kind of jumped the line. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're two of the best NFL quarterbacks of this generation, Super Bowl winners. That's a lot different. Now, I mean, I guess the one thing that I mean,
we're not talking about Chris Long.
Yeah, if you want to talk about nepotism quarterbacks, like talk about Matt Sims, from Tennessee back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't have any business being a Power 5 starter, but he had that last name. That's where you see it, I think, most often is in like recruiting rankings, and the same was true for Bronny, just as it is for many legacy recruits. A guy has a certain last name; he's the child of a former star, and we just assume that he's going to be something. But I mean, the son of a star player getting an opportunity is nothing new in sports. It's just not. It's commonplace, and so. I mean, it's not that shocking to me.
But was he a star? But was the son a star? Was he really meritorious of that draft selection?
I think oftentimes no. And the thing about drafting Bronny is that they could have just signed him as an undrafted free agent. They didn't have to use a draft pick on him. They could have gotten him off the free agent wire. And but here's my thing. The hit rate on second-round draft picks is so slim anyway. Who cares? I mean, honestly, like, we throw around second-round draft picks.
He's making that team,
though. Yeah, so, I mean, but will he have a spot in the league once LeBron retires? And I'm doubtful on that. But I'm open to the possibility that in a best-case scenario, Bronny develops into a two-way player. I mean, it's like I keep saying this about Charlie Woods, too. I'm like, if Charlie Woods ever makes the cut in a PGA tournament, that will be a wild success. Yet we all have these expectations of him that are way beyond reality and way beyond anything that's fair. And it's just unfortunate for Bronny.
But that's a solo sport too, and that low man wins. I mean, only person he really helping him is if he got to the level where he had a caddy.
Yeah, but my point, though, is that it's unfortunate for Bronny that we're putting these expectations on him because he's not ready for it. He's going to be the showcase, the centerpiece of Summer League. He's going to be on every ESPN commercial for Summer League. And he's not ready for that. And it's the same deal we do with Charlie Woods every time he goes to a U.S. Junior Amateur qualifier and we put his score on the bottom of the ESPN ticker. It's like literally the only reason we're talking about this guy is because he's, the son of an all-time great.
It happened in golf a long time ago. The son of Bing Crosby. Nathaniel Crosby won the U.S. Amateur at Olympic Club in San Francisco, and there were morons then that were alleging that it was fixed. There are things in sports you can fix. The U.S. Amateur and all that match play, that would be close to impossible.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think he won a 1 o'clock Nassau after that.
That's too bad.
Well, nepotism in sports is nothing new, and it's not going anywhere. But this is just a very, very interesting example of it because it's. I think it's ultimately unfortunate in a lot of times for the son, because now we got Bronny in a situation that feels a little unfair to me.
Speaking of the draft, the Grizzlies go out and take Zach Edey at number 9, a guy that you've seen plenty of. What did you make of that pick? I was not a huge fan of it just because of the spot, who was still on the board. We've already talked about Dalton Connect, some other, I thought, good prospects on the board. What did you make of the Grizzlies taking Zach Edey, and how do you think, based on what you've seen him do at his time in Purdue, how do you think he pans out in the NBA?
I'm a little skeptical. About Zach Edey as an NBA player. I understand the Grizzlies needed a center, so it makes sense that they drafted a center. But Zach Edey feels like a reach to me because he can't shoot. He's immobile defensively. So he's exclusively a rebounder, exclusively a screen setter, and somebody who can score around the rim. I mean, make no mistake, he'll be able to score around the rim.
Sure.
But is the entire Memphis Grizzlies offense going to be designed around getting Zach Edey paint touches like it was for him at Purdue? No, I don't think so, because they got some guys named John Morant, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr. on that team.
David, you weighed in at CBS Sports on all these rankings. EA Sports really set it off on toughest places to play. Go through your list and where you think the toughest spot in college football is to play.
Well, to me, it's got to be Tiger Stadium,
no doubt,
specifically at night. I mean, yeah.
All I say to people that say no to that, I ask them, have you ever been? And then when they tell me no, that's why they think that.
Yep. And then I don't know what EA was thinking by putting Kyle Field and Texas A&M at number 1. Like they like it. I get it to a certain extent. You're splitting hairs when you're talking about these 100,000 seat SEC and Big Ten stadiums, but Kyle Field, number 1. I mean, App State went in there a couple of years ago and won. So I got a really hard time with their placement of Texas A&M.
I saw Ole Miss go in with Shea Patterson and win there.
Oh man,
we should have a special plaque outside the stadium for that.
Well, I thought you might be mad at me for putting Ole Miss at 13 in the SEC.
No,
I said nice things about Ole Miss.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. And I had Mississippi State at 11 because I think the Cowbells do add some noise there. And I've kind of been a little nervous about where I had the new Big 12 schools that are coming into the SEC because I had Oklahoma and Texas.
I've never been to Norman, so I can't say on that. Texas is great. David, maybe my strongest take of the day. Mississippi State's a much tougher place to play than Kyle Field.
Wow, that is a strong take because there's about a 40,000 seat difference in capacity there. But what that shows you is that capacity isn't everything when we're talking about these college football environments. So, I mean, those Cowbells are loud. I mean, they really do make a difference. So, yeah, I've not been to A&M, but I have been to Starkville, and I was really impressed. And my ears were ringing for a couple of days after I went down there.
That's always a fun way to spend the rest of your weekend.
They're always so glad to see Ole Miss at Thanksgiving too.
Well, yeah. It's not great. David, it's a new day in college athletics. You mentioned the teams coming from the Big 12. It's official. Texas and Oklahoma into the SEC today. We got some other teams, SMU to the ACC, all those, some of those teams going to the Big 12. But my favorite today, seeing the West Coast Conference tweet out a welcome to Oregon State and Washington State for 12 sports, including basketball, baseball. What what have you made of all of the social media stuff today from those teams that are switching conferences?
Yeah, happy July 1.
That's right.
It's officially talking season in college football, and it's officially realignment season. So that means the Pac-12 network is about to go dark.
Thank the Lord.
And, R.I.P. Pac-12 network. I was one of the only people on our team at CBS who had Pac-12 network.
Yeah, that you covered it.
Lucky you.
Yeah, so I always got assigned to, you got Pac-12 network? Hey, watch the second half of this random Pac-12 game that we might need to write about. That was my role. So, R.I.P. Pac-12. But it's a new day. It's gonna be weird. I still got to wrap my mind around some of these changes. I'm going through my magazines right now, college football preview stuff, and just I keep thinking that they made an error when they list Cal and Stanford in the ACC, and then every time I got to remember, Cal and Stanford are actually in the ACC now.
David, it still grabs me every year at ACC Big Ten basketball time when Maryland is in the Big Ten.
Yeah, some of these changes just feel really unnatural for a really long time, and that's what this latest wave of realignment is going to do for sure, because there's just no geographic sense to a lot of it.
What's the one that doesn't fit in the SEC? Does one stand out?
Missouri. Missouri still doesn't feel like it fits to me. I mean, it feels like an outlier, and they don't have the football history, the football pageantry. Basketball hasn't really been very good at all during its time in the SEC, and they're terrible at baseball, and they have no fan support.
They did go to Atlanta back-to-back years with Pinkel coming in.
Oh, yeah, they had quite a beginning. I mean, they started hot, but, and they're supposed to be pretty good this year. But, I mean, culturally, Texas and OU feel
so true,
more culturally in line with the SEC than Missouri does to me.
And David, I've said every time, and I'm there a lot. Every time I'm in St. Louis, walking around downtown, I never stop and go, I'm in the heart of SEC land.
No.
Yeah. I don't even know. That's the problem with Missouri as a state. It's like, is it a southern state? Is it a Midwestern state?
Well, that goes way back. They've had that issue.
Yeah.
Oh,
and that's how they are as an athletic department. I don't know. I mean, like there's wonderful things about the state of Missouri. I enjoyed my time in St. Louis and covering the Cardinals, and what a great baseball state. But like in terms of culturally within the U.S. and within college sports, like I just don't really know what Missouri is.
Yeah.
Right. Southwest Springfield is, it feels very much like, Northwest Arkansas. And then the Boot Heel, up to about Cape Girardeau feels very southern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you get up. I've been through parts of Missouri, like on my way to Omaha a few years ago for the College World Series. I was in parts of like Northwest Missouri, and it didn't. It really felt more like Kansas or
very
Iowa
Midwestern,
out there.
yeah.
So, yeah, for sure.
Interesting. Well, David, as always, thanks so much for joining us.
Happy 4th.
Happy 4th, and we'll talk to you again next Monday.
All right, guys, I appreciate it. Happy 4th to you as well.
Thanks,
David.
David.
David Cobb joining us from CBS Sports, talk some college football and college basketball like he always does with us. Always a ton of fun with David. But we need to go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, NFL training camp right around the corner. We'll talk about some of the latest headlines in the National Football League. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
July 4th doorbusters are here at Lowe's, so don't miss your chance for big summer savings. Right now, save $30 on a Project Source 18-inch sink bathroom bed. Was $129, now just $99. And save $10 on a Never Kink 50-foot hose. Was $29.98, now just $19.98. Hurry, these deals won't last long because Lowe's knows savings. Offers valid through 7/1. Selection varies by location. While supplies last.
It's time to ride during the Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Summer Sales Event. Check out 43 MPG Highway in a new 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. $17,935 or $249 a month. Need extra room for your vacation? Let Gossett make it happen with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander. $30,490 or $449 per month. And go for miles and miles with 420 total range in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. $599 a month. Plus peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Military rebate, 500 royalty rebate. Mirage Outlander 84 months. Mirage RHO 10934. MSRP 18435. Outlander RZO 55981. MSRP 31490. PHEV RZO 35245. MSRP 48065. Includes 1095 acquisition fee. Sale price includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes processing fee of $695. Lease terms includes processing fee of $695. 15 cents per mile excess wear and tear. With approved credit CD for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. They're putting out a pretty good grass fire over here before you get up into Midtown on 240 northbound right at Norris. Again, the fire department's still out here, and it's a pretty good stretch where that burned pretty good over here on 240 going northbound. Again, right at Norris on this grass fire. It's picked up a little bit more volume in the last few minutes on 240 on to 385 Bill Morris Parkway. Hey, Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub to curbless shower conversions. Just log on to havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And we got to talk some NFL. It's training camp right around the corner.
Mandatory. You must report.
That's right. You got to be there, except for the people that decide they don't want to be there. And then it's okay. Well, we'll fine you.
Not as much as that as it used to be.
No.
This used to be real loggerhead for rookie deals.
Sure. No, of course.
I think they got it right.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. So we'll see. I mean, definitely question marks. I know, like, with Cowboys, a lot of question marks about who's going to show up and what's going to happen there with a couple guys.
Here's the answer. They'll all be there when it matters.
Exactly.
It might not be the first preseason game.
Yeah,
that doesn't matter.
As long as they're there.
Opening
week
day.
one, that's right. That's all that matters. So, what are some kind of storylines, things that you're paying attention to maybe this offseason going into training camp?
Let's do it again this summer like we did last year. Aaron Rodgers phenomenon.
There we go.
And hope we get more than 2 plays?
Yeah, that would be nice.
I certainly am.
Yeah.
Because I'll be there.
You will be?
Yep, I'll be going to San Francisco.
How about that?
That's right, Mr. Niner.
San Fran.
Absolutely, Levi Stadium.
All-time favorite player, Darian?
Easy low-hanging fruit is Jerry, but
yeah,
for me personally, it was Roger Craig.
Favorite defensive player?
Running a lot, but nothing made me happy to see Merton Hanks in that neck. Like doing it when he gets
man.
I love me some Merton Hanks.
And the story about Ronnie Lott and the cut it off.
Yeah.
Cut it off.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want anything cut off. I don't even want to go to the barber shop.
Yeah, no,
don't cut anything
Stay
off.
away.
Yeah.
Stay away.
But for Aaron Rodgers, we did it last summer. It doesn't feel like we're going to have the zeal to do it again. You still had him as one of the all-time Jets' great quarterbacks.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
He's attempted one more pass than you have.
Hey, you know.
With the Jets.
Big year this year, Brett.
We're counting on it, aren't we?
Of course, got to, especially when you put something like that in there.
And solid jobs on the line, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Not just for Aaron Rodgers being injured, but everybody wants to see if he has a clue offensively with anybody back there.
Yeah, no, and you know that's gonna be the big question, and Aaron Rodgers will definitely play a big role into that. They've improved the offensive line this offseason, so you know that will be a big help. Speaking of the Jets, Sauce Gardner, their phenomenal cornerback. I don't know if you've
already
seen this,
better
Brett.
than Revis Island.
Oh yeah, he's great.
You think so, Stat?
Yes,
he's great.
How bold is that?
That's
you want bold on Monday? I'm bringing bold.
Brett, that's two very
hard
hot
one.
takes in the last 15 minutes.
Hot take Monday. Hot take second half of the year.
I love
my
that.
time of the year.
I love
Hashtag.
that. I think the hashtag goes before.
Oh, does
That's
it? Okay.
But Sauce Walker, I don't know if you've seen this, Brett, has gotten the golfing bite. He's a big golfer right now. He's out there, and I think broke.
I love it for him, but I
week.
feel sorry for him.
So yesterday he posted a video, and he is golfing.
We've all been through that time.
Pouring down rain. And the caption.
I played in snow.
Well, the caption of his post said, "Why can't we play golf in the rain when we play football in the rain?" And
the whole grip thing.
And then, as the video's ending, you see a flash of lightning in the
that's
background.
one reason.
Well, that's the same reason that they don't play football.
We
when
cleared the
it's
stadium
lightning.
out now.
Yeah.
There's a thunderstorm on 5 Live Doppler within 25 miles of the stadium.
But I mean, he is playing golf on this golf course that I suppose he probably lives on, if I had to guess.
Good for him.
And shirtless, playing golf and enjoying it for sure. Here it is. Here's him hitting his tee shot in, just pouring down rain. And hits an okay shot, and
that's a pretty good swing.
Hold on, and then lightning, and I was like,
Time
okay,
to go.
well, there's a difference between just raining and
a lot of
lightning.
Conductivity, including that club you're holding.
Exactly. So if you want a reason why you don't play golf when it's raining, that's one. But good for him. I think he'll have a big season. This Jets team, I think you're right. It's going to be an interesting team to keep an eye on of kind of how it plays out, because they were the most talked about team last year before the season, and obviously couldn't put it together.
I had them in the AFC Championship game last year.
I don't necessarily blame
and it was
you.
over in seconds.
The second snap of the season, it was over. I mean, so that would be fun. Hard Knocks tomorrow night, Brett. I know you're not a Hard Knocks guy.
Is this the two city Hard Knocks?
No, this is.
So they're doing divisions now, right?
Well, so that's going to be later.
In
that's gonna
season.
Be like,
That's the end season.
The end
Okay,
season one.
okay.
This one, and it's earlier than it usually is, because this is going to be different. It is an off-season version with the New York Giants. So you're going to go through draft and re-signing guys and stuff like that. So that debuts tomorrow. I'm curious to see, what it looks like. Definitely different. But tomorrow night I'll be watching.
All right. The question I like to ask people this time of year, you know what's coming, don't you? If you had to cover one team now through their elimination, whether it's before the playoffs or into the playoffs or ultimately they win the Super Bowl, where would you like to be embedded? What team?
I got a quick one. Baltimore.
It's a good one.
That's
Baltimore.
a great one.
It's a really good one.
Yeah, with that running back.
That's
new running
a
back.
Good one. It's a really good one.
What about that quarterback?
And that quarterback. Lost a lot of pieces on defense. So
yeah, that's a good one. I'm not gonna go with the Cowboys because that's obviously the easy answer for me. So we'll take the bias out of it.
Go to San Francisco and let me know how they're doing.
Pass on that. I want to go Houston and see off season before year 2 of C.J. Stroud,
D'Amico
Ryans,
defense,
yeah,
Will
defense.
Anderson.
I'll say Houston. What about for you?
Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers.
That's another good one. That's a really good one.
Him back in the NFL from Michigan, delivered for his beloved alma mater.
Yeah.
Now he's got to deliver for the bank account.
That's a good one.
He didn't mind delivering for the bank account, too, at Ann Arbor.
No. It's pretty good.
But they got to his money. Remember that about Michigan when they docked his pay?
That's true.
That headline is man bites dog.
Oh, no, it's...
I mean, it was real, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very rarely do people respond very well after your pay's been docked.
No, not at all.
Not a big fan of it.
No, not at all. Brandon Ayuk, what do you think happens with him? That's kind of been the biggest story of this offseason of kind of what happens with him.
Well, he plays opening day. It's just a matter of where.
Yeah, for sure. But
Pittsburgh.
You think so?
Yeah. I think eventually we'll settle.
That's a good one
for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the teams that
you know it's goodbye.
Yeah.
Wow.
You've gotten there.
He's drawn. No, I think he has. He's drawn a very hard line in the sand.
But have you gotten
He
there?
definitely has.
Not really. Not really. I gladly take him back, but
of course.
I mean, he wants to get paid like everyone else. But
Do you trust Brock Purdy?
At this stage, absolutely. If you're going to take me to a Super Bowl and the what if after you've gotten hurt with Philadelphia, I think it should have been 2 Super Bowls in a row because of what happened with Philadelphia.
Sure.
Yeah. In the
fair.
NFC Championship game.
NFC Championship game, yeah.
Well, I'm interested.
Christian McCaffrey throwing passes. Give me a
Well,
break.
yeah, that's not a great
Well, they
look.
just got down to just having to run a play.
But if there's
Run
one
a play.
athlete,
I mean, you can't practice that.
No,
You can't expect
But
that.
honestly, if there's one athlete that I'd be like, yeah, that guy could deliver throwing the ball, it'd probably be Christian McCaffrey. He can do everything. it
Oh,
feels
and you
like.
know, a tradition unlike any other. When we get to the Olympics in about 3 weeks,
of course.
and we get to the decathlon portion of the Olympics, we will have that segment of from other sports
man.
who would be great decathletes.
Oh, Christian McCaffrey's right there.
He would be there.
He's in the running.
The last Olympics, I said, or maybe even 2016, I said OBJ.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. OBJ, supposedly, if you believe the folklore around him, is just any sport he ever has tried to play, he's just incredible at it.
I think I think it's true.
Yeah, I do too.
In Baton Rouge, those stories are legion.
Oh, man.
You know, mom ran track, and your
Sure.
dad played football and roomed with Shaq.
Well, yeah, that's pretty good.
You can probably do everything.
It's good company to be in, I guess.
Les Miles told me, he said, we could put him out to about 45 yards, any hash, straight on, and he could have been the field goal kicker.
What?
Yep. Promise you.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you know, soccer background. He grew up playing a lot of soccer. and
Well, goes
was
hand in hand.
Supposedly could have gone and signed with one of these European youth academies for soccer. So I guess
Let's
that's
get a
good
little
leg.
preview. Current, because we're going to visit with Matt Pauley here in about 19 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to ask him this. Current member of the St. Louis Cardinals, if dedicated to being great decathlete, who would it be?
Oh, geez. Okay, current Cardinal.
For all those sports and the field sports.
Yeah.
And you got to throw that shot put.
I wish Tyler O'Neill was still a Cardinal. I mean, that would be
a
my
real
answer.
good one. But you got to sprint too. But he can run.
He's fast.
He can run.
I'll go. Geez, I have no idea.
I've got mine from his two-sport prowess as a high schooler.
Who's that?
Former quarterback Sonny Gray.
That's a good one. I didn't even think about the pitchers, but that's a.
Well, you know the Armstrong.
Yeah, that's a good one to.
Javelin, things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to knock you over in the 100-meter dash.
No. You know what? I'll go off
Look
the
out,
wall
Bob Hayes. Here comes Sonny Gray.
I'll go off the wall here. Guy who hadn't played this season, Lars Nootbaar, was a quarterback in growing up.
Was he? I didn't know
believe
that.
so. I think that's right. I feel like I remember that when he was here in Memphis reading that. So
Rangy.
good arm, rangy.
Got to see him with the high jump.
Yeah, I don't know, but I was gonna say like Nolan Gorman, but I mean I think strong guy. Just don't trust the speed.
Yeah. No, I don't think he'd do much of this.
No. So I'm gonna go
Maybe long distance.
I'm gonna go Nootbaar.
Mason Wynn looks like he could run all day and never breathe hard.
Mason Wynn would be my pick, but you got to.
Y'all ready? Y'all get ready for that. We'll do it from around sports.
I'm ready to go through the sports we've played in the past.
Are you?
Or that we've participated in. That's one of my
close.
favorites.
We're getting close.
We're getting very close. I think the
now if we say yes to platform diving, just because we did cannonballs at the local pool, does that count as diving?
No, I don't. I mean, you can count it. I don't know how to dive, so you can count if you want.
All I could do was cannonball or belly busters.
Yeah, I've never been able. And I was on the swim team.
I couldn't do a flip if my life depended on it.
No, I couldn't do that either. But I would always.
A lot could go horribly wrong too.
My swim coach used to hate me because I would, he'd get me in this, he taught me the stance to dive into the pool. I had the stance down. When he'd clap or whatever to start, I just cannonball in, and then I start
We're
swimming,
off.
and not great.
So I texted you I think 2 Saturday nights ago. What were we watching? What's the shortest breaststroke?
Oh, it was the 100, wasn't it? Or was the 50? It might have been 50.
Real quick.
Yeah, I think it was 50.
Or was it? No, it was 100 because I asked.
That's right. Yeah.
Could I
double check? Let's see.
Could I beat the 100 meter time? Me running, them swimming.
Oh, I said it'd be close.
I think real close.
Yeah, I think way too
real
close. Yeah, but the trials have been fun to watch.
They have been.
I'll be honest. I just pulled up Lars Newtbar.
Yeah, you are correct. I got that for you. Yeah. I was waiting on it.
Good.
He
Class
was
of 2015.
awesome. Yes,
Dual threat quarterback.
He was a 3-time MVP in high school in baseball and twice for football. So
went to USC. I think played baseball.
Went to USC. Yeah.
But yeah, out of California, was not rated out of high school, at least on ESPN. 4.7 40. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be fine for the.
That could be your decathlon.
Yeah, that was a good call there, man.
Thank you. It's working a year covering the Redbirds. You get little tidbits like that, and you somehow remember some of them.
Very good. I didn't know he had the football background.
A little football background to him. A little field general, quarterback. Let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and great quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, vegan and gluten-free options available, convenience, and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway and the Parkway Center, Popper Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli is wholesome food and no surprises.
All 650 acquisition fee, Telluride RG 510849, MSRP 38305, Forte LXS RE 780 169, MSRP 21820. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 6/30/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff, I hear you've got the Kia Summer Sticker Sales event going on right now at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah. Give me some scoop.
Randy, the scoop is I'm ready to put you in a new Kia for less. 2024 Kia Forte LXS 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 do-it signing. How about a 2024 Kia Telluride LX 357 a month, $39.99 do-it signing, 24-month lease.
Plus 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9. And every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah, or online anytime. KiaMountMoriah.com.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas, Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
Everyone loves home improvement. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51 makes it easy. A real hardware store run by 3 generations of a real hardware family where you can get it on. Whether it's repairs, remodeling, or new building, kitchens, bathrooms, tiles, tubs, vanities, sinks, mirrors, lighting, furniture, even door hardware. All the latest designs as well as timeless classics. And if outdoor fun is on your mind, they have the big green egg and accessories. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51, 8560 Highway 51. Easy home improvement.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Sportstime on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand.
It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brad, I have a couple of big numbers today. The first one is breaking news from the NBA. Shams Charania and Chris Hayes are both reporting my big number. $314 million. Boston Celtics All-Star Jason Tatum is finalizing a 5-year.
It's the St. Louis area code he's from.
That's a great point. You're absolutely right. 5-year, $314 million Supermax contract extension through the 29-2030 season.
314.
It's a lot of money.
Whit Grusbeck is selling the Celtics. He didn't pay that much to buy them.
Not at all.
Getting ready to sell them for $5 billion.
That's incredible. So good for Jason Tatum. He gets a ring and he gets
great for him.
A big old contract. So
they're making and look, no rain, no rainbows. You have to have the players.
No, you absolutely do. And
but 200, two of them, $600 million. Oof.
That's crazy.
Might be a good time to sell.
It might be. One more big number I have from Major League Baseball. I saw this over the weekend. 60 is my big number. The Baltimore Orioles, a really, really good month they've had the month of June. They are the third team in AL/NL history to hit 60 or more home runs in a single month. They did that. They got over the 60 mark on Saturday. Did not hit any last night, the last day of the month, against the Texas Rangers when they were beat 11-2. But a really solid month at bat for the Baltimore Orioles.
My big number is 16. That was the professional baseball number worn in Memphis and worn in Kansas City by the great Bo Jackson from McAdory High and Auburn. He was inducted this weekend into the Kansas City Royals Hall of Fame. I say well-deserving for that athletic prowess, for what could have been. So sad, the injury. They show it every time they do a recap of his career. It was one eyelash from him breaking 180. Instead, it was all over, just yanked his hip in a terrible way against the Cincinnati Bengals in a playoff game at the L.A. Coliseum. But it was just the tip of the iceberg that we saw. MVP of the 1989 All-Star Game, hitting cleanup. Tony La Russa put him in the cleanup spot for the American League team that year, off of Rick Russell. Career batting average 250. He had 82 stolen bases, 141 home runs. In Memphis, MVP of the 1984 Liberty Bowl, but playing baseball not far from the Liberty Bowl. Only 53 games with the Chicks that summer.
Is that right?
1986. I didn't realize it was that few. 7 home runs, hit 277 that one summer at Old Blues, then Chicks, Tim McCarver Stadium.
Wow. Fun time. It sounds like, at least. Well before my
And a legendary home run.
Oh, yeah.
That people now have going over Christian Brothers campus.
Brett, more infamous moment from Bo Jackson, running through the tunnel or running the wall?
The wall.
The wall.
It looked like if he had wanted to, he could have gone all the way to the left field foul pole. like a superhero.
It's crazy. I loved seeing him get honored over the weekend. I mean, that was a lot.
His Liberty Bowl against Arkansas, Auburn won 21-15. Arkansas had him pinned up most of the night.
Yeah.
He got loose one time. That was enough.
Yeah.
And it was a big one. But it was not over 100 yards rushing that night. Our buddy David Basil at 103.7, The Buzz in Little Rock, was the defensive MVP of that game.
Really?
And the Arkansas defensive plan is, and this is old school, is you key on him. If he goes and puts hot dog on a mustard, you go to the mustard stand with him.
Yep.
Now, Auburn had another good running back, too, on that team, Brent Fullwood. Much a man.
Yeah.
But Bo bottled up most of the night.
Wow.
Got loose once, and that was enough to win.
Yeah, that's kind of how Bo Jackson was. He just needed that one opportunity.
Just that one little opening.
And Brian, to talk your language, Bo Jackson obviously put the video game Tecmo Bowl on the map.
Yeah.
He was by far the greatest player on that video game. But how about him and Marcus Allen in the same backfield stats?
That is crazy.
Frightening. And Bo wearing that big defensive lineman cage, face mask.
Yes.
Oh, that's a look.
I think the greatest athlete in the history of the SEC.
Yeah, I mean,
Herschel real close, and Herschel was a accomplished track star.
Yeah.
But, to play in Major League Baseball All-Star game and in a Pro Bowl.
That's impressive. That's really impressive. But no, that was a lot of fun over the weekend, watching him get honored. I mentioned earlier his press conference where he had his little grandson with him was really fun to watch. So definitely enjoyed seeing that. Wish we had the Royals playing tonight, or more than just 3 teams playing tonight, but that's okay. But let's go ahead and get to a break, mention some baseball. Matt Pauley, he's going to join us on the other side from KMOX, talk some Cardinals and Major League Baseball. Stick with us. You're listening to Sports Time.
Source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Simple, smooth, and every sip is easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly. Everyone needs protection, whether you're on the field or on the road, so make sure you have the best. Bob Simpson State Farm Insurance can buckle you up with auto insurance, can back you up with life and health insurance, cover your business whether it's starting, growing, or maturing, and don't forget to insure your home, no matter if you're an owner or a renter. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call Bob Simpson today at 901-381-1233 or go online and get a free quote at bobsimpson.org. Stay protected with your good neighbor, Bob Simpson.
Jenkins Floors and More invite you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Goodman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
If the woman of your dreams has been searching online for the perfect engagement ring, she's figured out there's a few brand names that are worthy of consideration. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and she doesn't want a plain, ordinary cookie-cutter ring to wear the rest of her life. She wants a world-class designer ring, handcrafted by a true artisan that will hold value and stand the test of time. She's found Tacori, Verragio, Ajafi, Simon G., among other premium American-made designers. But when you try and find these exclusive rings, you quickly realize most stores don't offer them. They have knockoffs and lookalikes, kind of like those imitation bags and watches on the streets of New York City. But there is one jeweler where you can find the real deal, Genesis Diamonds. Genesis has been chosen by all the most sought-after designers. Genesis is your exclusive home for these iconic brand names that define excellence. Other stores can only dream of being able to offer these, but only Genesis has them. So be careful. Don't settle for anything less than the ring she is worthy of wearing. Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
I got him on the line, Jason, the main man Marshall, and he's ready to rock and gossip Volkswagen on the pike.
Randy, it's vacation time, so take the road wherever it leads you with 42 miles per gallon on the highway in a brand new 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE for only $249 a month.
That's an awesome deal at Gossip Volkswagen on the pike. And Jason, my main man Marshall, everybody in Memphis knows when it comes to a great deal, it's all about choices.
Take your pick from 2024 Tiguan S front-wheel drive or a 2024 Taos SE for only $279.28 a month, plus 0% for 60 months on all new 24 Taos. And you know my motto, make me an offer, because nothing reasonable will be refused.
Ask for Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossip Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike. Online, gossipvwmemphis.com.
Where we're charging for it and charging less every day.
Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And joining us now to talk some baseball, Matt Pauley from KMOX joins us to talk the Cardinals and Major League Baseball. Matt, thanks so much for joining us. Cardinals right now 43-40 on the season, an off day today. It seems like all of baseball has an off day today, only 3 games today. What do you think of this Cardinals team so far? 43-40 on the year. Tomorrow start a series against the Pirates. What have you made of this year's team so far through the season?
Yeah, it's kind of a loaded question. There's a lot going on with this team. They dug themselves into a big hole, but then they were able to dig themselves out really quickly. They've had the best record since Mother's Day in the National League. But even during that period, there's been moments that haven't been great. They lost 2 of 3 against the Marlins. You don't love the fact that they split a 4-game series against the Reds at home. You very much would have liked them to take 3 of 4 in that series. They are flawed in so many areas, I think like just about every team in the National League. But at the end of the day, they're winning more than they're losing, and they're in a playoff spot right now. I know Cardinals fans want more than just being a playoff spot, but all things considered, I think they're in a pretty good spot right now.
Matt, the team saved its season in the month of June. Many are pointing back to the Oliver Marmol blow-up and getting ejected on that Sunday way back in May since that point, and that was around that Mother's Day marker. I prefer to say, really, since the newest baby, the Pauley baby, entered the world, that's really the line we should be counting from.
Yeah, June 6th is when Annalie Grace Pauley came into the world. So maybe we should be looking at what their record is since June 6th. But yeah, they've been playing some good baseball here recently. even if I'm only getting like 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night and have no real clue actually what's going on.
You need to tell Whitty and Brian and that crew to make a game note of it.
I should. You're right. That obviously should be part of the game note.
But we're not superstitious at all in baseball, are we?
Not at all.
No,
not at all.
No, never, of course. Matt Pauley from KMOX in St. Louis and part of the Cardinal broadcast team. You hear him there pre and post. You hear him on Sports Open Line over the sports voice of Mid-America, KMOX 1120 in St. Louis. Matt, the team has saved its season. How good is it really, though?
They're as good as any second tier team in the National League. Like that's, I'm not. When that comes out of my mouth, it sounds like I'm putting them down. But it is very clear that the Phillies and the Dodgers are the two best teams in the National League. And then give credit to the Brewers. I'm still not completely buying in on them, but
16 over 500.
Yeah. Give credit to what they've done. But I think really from the Brewers down to about maybe the Nationals or the Reds or I don't know what the line is. It definitely is before the Marlins and Rockies. Those two teams are absolutely terrible. I'm not quite sure where the line from terrible to below average is, but they're as good of a second tier team in the National League as there.
On Bobby Bonilla Day, look out for his Mets.
How about that?
Yeah, absolutely, and the whole Grimace thing with the Mets.
Yeah, that's been fun.
I mean, we'll take anything in baseball. A new baby, Mother's Day, a rally squirrel, Grimace. We'll do anything to get hot, won't we, Matt?
That's right.
It's 162 games. We have to. We have to win all these things.
You have to entertain yourself a little bit in a baseball season, don't you?
You do, and I mean that's why we have the Mike Claiborne Flag Day. There's a lot of stuff going on.
That's right. I'm curious on the injury front. It sounds like we're getting closer for both Lars Nootbaar and Tommy Edman. What have you heard about both those guys, and what do both those guys do when they're able to come back and rejoin this lineup?
Yeah, so when Nootbaar might be back this weekend. He's been out on a rehab assignment. He just started that. He was expecting to go 5 or 6 games. So I think there is a good chance that we see Nootbaar this weekend. And when you do that, all of a sudden you can put him in the outfield. You're able to mix and match a little bit. I think Stiani is going to stay in center field, but when you look at the corners, you're going to have Donovan, you're going to have Burleson, and you're going to have Nootbaar, and you're going to be able to look at matchups. You're going to be able to use the DH. You're also going to be able to take Brendan Donovan and put him at second base some because as much power as Nolan Gorman has, he's just not hitting the ball right now, and he goes through these stretches. So to be able to give him a day or two and put Donovan at second, I think is good. We're still a ways out on Edman. Once he goes on a rehab assignment, that's probably going to be a 2 to 3 week sort of deal. He has to completely recreate spring training. He had another setback this past week where he kind of stubbed his ankle a little bit. That has since healed. He's been back working on the field. When Edman gets back, if everybody else is healthy, they're certainly going to have some decisions to make from what his role is going to look like, because I don't think he's going to all of a sudden just be the everyday center fielder. They love what Michael Stiani gives out there. And also you're going to have to figure out where he fits on the 26-man roster. When Nootbaar comes back, I think you can look at Jose Fermin and say that he's likely to be returned to Memphis. But it's a good problem to have, and these things always tend to work themselves out in a baseball season. But if Edman gets back and everybody else is healthy, there might be an uncomfortable decision that needs to be made.
You're very familiar with that Milwaukee team, having worked there before coming to St. Louis. They lose Craig Counsell, and as we said, 16 over 500, and can really almost make it look easy in the National League Central.
Yeah, I think really highly of the Brewers baseball operation. They can mix and match parts. They lose David Stearns, they go to Matt Arnold running it. They lose Craig Counsell, they go to Pat Murphy. They trade away Corbin Burns. They trade away Josh Hader. I mean, they move on from people who are elite at their jobs, and they don't miss a step, which is as impressive of a compliment as you can give. The one thing I would say, and I like Pat Murphy a lot, but this is his first time managing a team through a 162-game season. To win in Major League Baseball over 162 games, you have to be good and you have to be long-lasting. It is hard to win month after month after month, week after week after week. And I look at the way he's using his pitching, and some of it is just because they don't have a lot of pitching. They've had more injuries to their starting rotation than you would believe. But I do wonder if the way he's managing the team right now is going to hurt them at the end of the season, but maybe the Brewers will just brewer and they're going to continue to win until the end of the year.
Okay, the flip side of Pat Murphy is year 3 of Oliver Marble, sometimes heavily criticized, castigated on the fairness level of the criticism and examination of him as a field manager. Where does it come in as fair, unfair, Matt?
Yeah, I think anytime you're not winning as much as you're expected to win, you can look at the manager and say how much culpability is there at his seat, at his desk. Because that is a completely fair thing to do, especially coming off the season that they were coming off of last year. That being said, I think some of the complaints about Marmol are not fair. I hear things like he's lost the clubhouse, he's not a leader, he's not very smart. None of those things are true. Players love playing for him. He hasn't lost the clubhouse. He's as intelligent of a manager as you're going to find. Has the roster been put together in a way that gave him the best opportunity to win games? That's a different argument for us to have. I also think you have to look at the fact that look at their run differential. It's not very good. They're minus 40. They're the highest. They're the team with the best record in the National League with a negative run differential.
This weekend was an example.
Yeah, exactly. So they lose 2 games in one side, and they win 2 close games. The only teams with the worst run differential in the National League are the terrible Marlins and Rockies. So if you're finding a way to win more games than you're losing when you're getting outscored by that much, some of the credit goes to the manager for resource allocation and knowing, everybody wins 60, everybody loses 60. So there's going to be some of those 60 games that you're just going to lose, and you need to make sure not to expend your resources too much in a game that you've got no chance of winning. I think he's very good at getting the most wins out of this roster.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that run differential. I know last year when we had you on a couple times during the season, a lot of the questions were about starting pitching and, really rough year last year when it came to the starters. But this year, the offseason, they made some moves. They went and got guys Sonny Gray, Lance Lynn, Kyle Gibson. What have you made of the starting rotation this year? And then you've got a guy like Andre Palante who's been called on to come out of the pen and give them some starts. What have you made of this starting rotation?
The starting rotation's fine for the regular season. You can win regular season games with this rotation. You can win a division with this rotation. The bigger question is, can you win in the playoffs with this rotation? And I still think they need another guy. They need someone who can come in and be better than everybody else in the rotation except for Sonny Gray. Yeah. If they go get, and right now, if I had to choose a number 2, I think I'd go with Kyle Gibson right now. They need to go get somebody who's better than Kyle Gibson at the deadline, so you have a little bit more of a 1-2 punch when you get into the playoffs. But the regular season's different. And Lance Lynn, like we saw yesterday, sometimes Lynn's not going to be very good, but he's going to give you a chance to win more often than not. Same thing with Gibson, and you mentioned Andre Palante. He's done a nice job. Matthew Liberatore is really good in his last start. Is that something that's good for him? I think they learned something with Gordon Graceffo out of the bullpen the other day when he went 4 1/3. There's probably some confidence now that if they need a spot start, they can look to Graceffo for that. So you got a bunch of guys who can keep you in games. Now, I would also argue on the other side of it is they're not getting the length that they would like out of these starters. That was something that was talked about a lot in the offseason, and we're seeing an overusage of the high leverage arms in the bullpen with Helsley and Kittredge and Romero. And Kittredge and Romero specifically have not been quite as good recently, yesterday notwithstanding. I would be a lot more comfortable if they had another arm like that. Other guys are starting to be used. Ryan Fernandez has pitched himself into a high leverage role. But I am concerned about them playing so many close games and those high leverage guys being overused. And part of that goes into the starting rotation and starters just not giving you enough innings.
A month before trade deadline, would this team add? Would it add significantly?
It will add. I don't know if they'll add significantly. I don't know if they have the stomach to add significantly because of what you have to give up. But can they go find, can they have a trade deadline like they had a couple years ago when they went and got Jose Quintana and Jordan Montgomery? Let me ask you, so was that adding significantly, or was that just adding the year that they did Montgomery and Quintana?
That's a good point. And even the year they added Romero that I heavily criticized because that was a year they set out for Soto, and Bryant can attest, and I did, Matt. But we got JoJo Romero. He's really helped. That now I was wrong.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of the point here. It depends on what your definition of significantly is. Can they go acquire arms like they acquired last year? I think a Quintana Montgomery type deadline, not those guys specifically, but that profile, I think that is somewhat likely.
But every Cardinal deadline, Matt, I'm like every one of your callers to your post game show. I want them to go add Reggie Jackson at trade deadline time.
Yeah, I think you'll be disappointed if that is your expectation.
And frankly, not many times in my life have I gotten it, but a couple times when they have made big deals at deadline time. The Larry Walker deal was great. The Mark McGwire deal was great.
Yeah, Edmonds was Edmonds at the deadline?
I think he was, yes.
Yeah.
With Kent, that might have been off season with Kent Bottenfield, but it was good.
Maybe it was. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to remember. I remember what are other Woody Williams was at the waiver deadline. I remember that
Scott
one pretty well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they have definitely brought in guys who have impacted the team at the deadline.
Matt, any mention of Woody Williams? I owe him my life. So one night at Busch Stadium in the 2005 season, it was the hottest nighttime game ever at Old Busch Stadium. And I had a seat right behind home plate, and it was one of those seats that sat real low. And it was the air was so heavy and so hot, and I'm sitting down low, and I've never left a game early in my life. I thought, I'm going to have to leave or at least stand up. I can't breathe. Woody Williams mowed down the Brewers in about an hour and 52 minutes, 1-0. Any mention of him, I've got a remark about him.
Love it. Great story, and everybody was probably very thankful that game moved along.
There wasn't a dry thread in there. Everybody, it was like being at a sauna.
Wow, that's a good story. Talking to Matt Pauley from KMOX, he joins us to talk the Cardinals and Major League Baseball. You just mentioned Ryan Helsley, the closer for the Cardinals, has been lights out this year. 30 saves on the season. That leads Major League Baseball. What has been the most impressive thing you see from Helsley this season?
His availability.
Yeah.
He's pitching a lot. That's not something that he has been known for in his career. And the Cardinals made the decision this year that he was going to be a one-inning closer, that he was going to pitch, that he was going to go get 3 outs, he was going to cover 9th innings when the team was winning, and that was essentially the only time he was going to be used. Little did they know that meant he was going to be used a lot. But his availability, his ability to pitch in back-to-backs, his ability to pitch 3 out of 4, that's been the most impressive thing. I get people calling into my post-game show, and it infuriates me. I get people calling in saying that they need to be bringing Ryan Helsley in for the final out of the 8th inning or covering a couple outs in the 8th. We have never seen Ryan Helsley this good. He is arguably the best closer in baseball right now. They made a change. That change has resulted in him being the best of the best, and people want him to start fooling around with that formula. Like, no, let him pitch 1 inning and let him be the major league leader and save.
And a case could be made for him for Cy Young.
Yeah. Well, I think we're a little early on that one.
A little early, but
let's revisit that the next time you guys have me on.
But it has been impressive, and yesterday may have been the showcase. It was good morning, good night, good afternoon, good night yesterday. They didn't have a chance against him.
He has the opportunity for an immaculate inning every single time he takes them out.
Yeah, it's incredible. It really is. Another team that in the division that's kind of right there around the Cardinals, the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're 3 games back right now of the St. Louis Cardinals with Paul Skeens. A lot of people watching him and what he's done. But this team, it's very weird. Sometimes you'll watch them and you go, wow, this team's hitting the ball really well. Pitching's coming through from them. And then the other games you'll watch and you go, wow, this team is really struggling. It's kind of been a roller coaster season so far for them. What have you seen from the Pittsburgh Pirates this year, and obviously with this series starting
and we get to dodge Skeens?
We sure do. What do you expect this week against the Pirates?
Yeah, I like the roster, yet I've liked the roster for years. Like there's so many guys on this team I like. I like O'Neal Cruz. I like Rowdy Tellez. I like Brian Reynolds. I like Andrew McCutchen. Like there's just this roster is a roster that I generally like, but it's not a team that I like for one reason or another. I even like a number of their pitchers. You know, they've got a lot of guys who can keep them in games, and then they got some guys out of the bullpen who are going to go out there and shut you down. And they've got one of the best stories in baseball in Paul Skeens. So it's one of those things where I feel like the sum of the parts is not actually greater than, sometimes teams are better than the sum of the parts. I think it's the exact opposite with the Pirates. I like so many of the pieces, but for some reason I just don't really like the team.
Who's the best American League team you've seen come through Busch Stadium?
Oh, that's a great question. It should have been the Orioles, but they swept the Orioles.
Sure did. And that was right after, and I was there for the 2 out of 3 against the Red Sox, and that was really the start of this little run.
Yeah. I haven't been overly – I'm not trying to not answer a question here, but I haven't been overly impressed with because it was Boston and Baltimore who came in, and then they played a lot of interleague games on the road, and I'm not always on the road, so I'm gonna punt on that question because
your answer is correct. It should be Baltimore, and that's the first time, and we got excited about it. We're finally looking like a team.
Yeah, that was an impressive series for the team. Absolutely.
Yeah, it definitely was. You mentioned Nolan Gorman earlier at his position at second. Brett and I have remained constant of that. Not a second baseman, but especially earlier in the season. Bat was very hot. He was hitting the ball really well. Now, as of late, not doing that, really struggling at the plate. What do you think is going on with him right now? Where do you think this slump has come from, and how do you get out of it if you're Nolan Gorman?
I think he's just a streaky hitter, and as he continues to elevate and as a pro ball player, because he's still relatively young, his challenge is going to be to make the cold streaks as short as possible and the hot streaks as long as possible, and that's a challenge for him right now.
The fans at times have felt like they want a pound of flesh from somebody. It moves from Mo to Ollie to individual players. And even a good stretch like the Cardinals are in, well, it doesn't feel like it'll end in anything. What will it really take to pacify, to get people to back off and enjoy a little bit?
I think some success in the postseason. I don't know if there's anything they can do in the regular season to accomplish what you're looking for them to accomplish. Fans want postseason success, and I don't even just think it's going and winning a wild card series. I think it's getting to the championship series at the very least.
Wow.
And Matt, we've had a lot of big notable losses in Major League Baseball. With Willie Mays during the Rick Wood Classic that was just so well done by Major League Baseball, and the fond farewell across baseball, across the world to Willie Mays. But this weekend, Friday night, Orlando Cepeda, and I remarked during the Rick Wood game, I was concerned that something could be going on bad with Orlando Cepeda, because he would have been prominently featured if he could have been there. Excuse me, having played for both teams. Retirement of numbers. I know it's controversial, and I know when we think of Orlando Cepeda, we think of him mostly as a member of the San Francisco Giants. But in 1967, he was MVP of the National League on a world champion St. Louis Cardinal team. And they retired Ted Simmons after he got in the Hall of Fame. They retired Scott Rowland. Should number 30 be retired for Cha-Cha, the baby bull?
I haven't thought about it.
Any feedback from your listeners on it?
It's something I may throw at them.
Mm-hmm.
My initial reaction is the tenure with the Cardinals was just not quite long enough.
That is it. It was great, but it was just so brief.
Yeah.
And then traded for Joe Torre in first year. Joe Torre, first or second year, he's MVP of the National League. It was great. It was spectacular, but I just don't know that it was long enough.
Right. That's where I don't like questions. I'm not criticizing you, but questions like those aren't my favorite questions because it puts me in a corner where it sounds like I'm almost saying something bad about somebody, and that's not what I'm doing at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah, just the fact of the matter is I don't think the tenure was long enough.
And Matt, you got you know this too. In sports talk radio or in post game stuff, we're not a jukebox. You can't just put the money in us and we have an answer on everything. Sometimes I don't know or I don't really care is sufficient.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. Well, Matt,
but throw that out there to your older listeners that if they think Cha-Cha should be number 30 should be retired.
I will. I absolutely will.
That's a good question. Well, Matt, as always, thank you so much for joining us, and let's do this again soon.
Yeah, you bet. Anytime, fellas.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you very much. Matt Pauley with us from KMOX in St. Louis. And, you know, I can understand the younger fans
Sure.
for number 30. I'm trying to think other great 30s of, you know, who
Good
that
question.
would maybe not, you know, be not Mel Stoudemire Jr.,
yeah.
you know, but Orlando Cepeda, very, very significant career. And I was sad late Friday night to hear that news about him.
Yeah, that was sad. Seeing that.
Because remember, I was asking around Rickwood about it.
You absolutely were, and so you were definitely spot on with that. That was definitely sad to see. But I think, like you said, I think it might just be one of those generational things where I think, you know, older fans would probably, you know, you'd get a lot more that would say, yeah, sure, you need to retire that number. Younger fans like me, maybe a little bit older than me, probably like, maybe not. So I think probably a generational thing, but a good question. I would love to know the kind of response from that with people in St. Louis.
And organizationally, you can get there to where you get like the Celtics and a little bit like the Yankees of, you know, look, we're getting slim on popular numbers.
Can't retire every number.
That's right, and you want to keep it special.
Sure. I'm trying to look up and see if we have any other 30s that would be big time.
I was right about Mel Stoudemire, wasn't I? Junior?
You were, yes. Long list of 30s. A lot of 30s have rolled through here. Nothing that John Smoltz.
Yeah, but that was real late.
Yeah, I was about to say that's kind of the biggest
and
name.
Nobody thinks of him as a Cardinal.
No, not at all. Not a lot of 30s.
But MVP and a world champion team.
Yeah.
That's kind of the double hit.
Sure is.
Matt Pauley, our guest, as all our guests appear on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Sissy's Log Cabin, the official jeweler of the hometown teams, of the Grizzlies, of the Tigers. Great supporters of both. New location. It is open at 4542 Poplar. We were part of the grand opening back around Christmas time, and it was spectacular. Bill Jones, his great team, here to stay. Part of the fabric of the community. Some blow in and out overnight, not Sissy's Log Cabin. The Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry. You got it there. Engagement rings, wedding bands, necklaces, and earrings. 9,000 square feet in Larwood with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and more. Since 1970, with all the great locations across the Mid-South, Sissy's offers a selection of diamonds, estate jewelry, and fine gifts. Official jeweler for the Memphis Grizzlies, and at FedEx Forum with the floor seat lounge. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary shopping experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Well, let's go ahead and get to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farm All, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find a Case IH Farm All that's right for you.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Fiveash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
Buster's Butcher at 199 South Highland Street in Memphis. We're a full-service butcher shop offering a curated selection of quality meats, cheeses, prepared foods, and more. At Buster's, our skilled butchers are also experienced chefs. They'll be delighted to guide you on selecting, preparing, and cooking our fine selection of products. We're like nothing else you can find in Memphis. Learn more at bustersbutcher.com and come see why every cut counts at Buster's Butcher.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Dead battery on America's birthday? America's #1 battery destination is here to help. AutoZone has free battery testing and charging at every store, and batteries starting at just $79.99. With our 4th of July sale, we have savings to help you red, white, and do any other jobs you've been putting off. It's everything you need to get back on the road at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
If you own a business, you know Luttrell Belting keeps you moving. Luttrell has cost-effective belts, conveyor components, and 24/7 on-site service to keep you operating smoothly. Text are just a phone call away at 800-441-8946 or online at LuttrellBelting.com. Luttrell's Memphis plant stocks belting in nearly every size and finish, and if they don't have it, they'll make it. From ordering to selection, fabrication, and installation, your Luttrell sales rep is there for you. Luttrell Belting keeps you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
A couple of wrecks still getting some attention out here. It hadn't been too bad over here today on 240 eastbound there at Poplar. It's nice to be able to say that because it's been a mess the last few weeks. Now, there's lots of radar out here, folks. They're not playing around. Be careful down I-40 out into Fayette County. You're going to see a lot more radar over the next 3 or 4 days. Hey, Havenly Showers specializes in converting tubs to curbless showers using only the highest quality materials. Check out their website, havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios as we got about 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending. I mentioned we'd circle back to the NBA if anything crazy happened, and we did get some crazy. I mentioned it with my big number, but Jason Tatum, a big contract extension for the champion, and I think a lot of questions about him this playoff and in the finals. Wasn't really kind of the overwhelming superstar that I think some people wanted him to be, but is as consistent as you can get as a player. So 5-year, $314 million for Jason Tatum.
Again, might be a good time for Wick Grusbeck to sell that team because he's going to get a lot more than he paid for it, and that's more than he paid for it. Jason Tatum's is he a superstar?
I would say yes.
By definition, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say he's a superstar. I mean, if you were like ranking superstars or like tier grouping superstars, he would be towards the bottom.
If we rank the best players, how fast before we get to him?
You don't get past 10. You can't.
Yeah, I think he's top 10.
Yeah, he has to be.
But I think just his style of play.
We may have to do that one day.
We might have to. I just think his style of play is so.
If we did a draft, how quickly would we get? You can have anybody in the league.
We should do that.
We should do that.
I'm more than interested in that.
I think we could get around
all sports
a couple times.
But yeah, definitely that.
Right after we do the decathlete.
That's right. Yeah. But I do think like. His game is just like so smooth.
Okay, you get to draft Jason Tatum or SGA.
SGA, personally.
For next year, Jason Tatum or LeBron James.
Probably LeBron, but that's closer.
For next year, Joel Embiid or Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum.
You do really?
I do,
okay.
Yeah. Well, that's mainly.
Yeah, we got to play that because it's all about how you build the team.
Luka.
Oh yeah, you definitely take Luka.
I love Luka.
Tomorrow, yesterday, you take Luka. Yeah.
I think I'd have Tatum.
Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum.
Anthony Edwards.
Ant.
Oh yeah, definitely
Ant. I mean, we're getting close to Ant being, in the conversation for the face of the NBA.
You don't get past 5 with him.
No.
You don't get past 5 from him.
No.
Well, only 5 more to get to 10 then.
That's true. I think Tatum's in there.
I think Tatum's in 10. Yeah.
Kevin Durant.
I take KD.
Yeah. All right,
That list is getting slim. I mean, that list is
I'm not
getting
even
slim.
thinking about it.
Yeah, that list is getting slim.
Jalen Brunson.
I take Jason Tatum.
He's earned you to have to take him. He's earned it. Yes, he's earned it.
I take Tatum, but it's close. I mean, I like
Anthony Davis.
I take Tatum.
You would?
I would. Okay. Yeah, I would. But I do like AD.
He's swiftly become a top 20 player.
Devin Booker.
Tatum. Yeah.
Now you're just.
No, I'm serious. I like Jason Tatum a lot, though. He's a Duke guy, Brett. I mean, how can I not like him?
Brotherhood.
The brotherhood, you know? I got to pull for Tatum. Darian, did you know that I'm a secret Duke lover?
You know how I found it out, Darian.
How?
He was ripping John Shire, and I was not
ripping John Shire.
I didn't like it.
Bryant got mad at him.
I don't know if I'd say I got mad at him.
Well, miffed.
Yeah, I was.
Which beats the P word.
Yeah. I went the.
I used to really like the leadership at Duke. I loved the way Mike and Mickey held themselves.
Yeah.
I just did. I used to love me some Mike and Mickey.
Sure. Why not? Yeah, good for Jason Tatum. I mean, whether he's a top 10 player or not, good for him. Anytime a player gets paid, good for him.
You know, 314, he doesn't care where we rank him.
No, not at all. Brett, oh my goodness. How could I have gotten this far before I got to this? Let me see if I can find it. We had a conversation last week about a specific coach and how much money he's made for his players, and another specific coach and how much money he has made for his players.
Coach
Saban and Calipari. This was a tweet from Cal over the weekend. Did you see this?
I did not.
This all happened within the last week or so. All these players got contracts. Now, this is before free agency opened. All these players got contracts that totaled over $800 million. Malik Monk, Tyrese Maxey, Emmanuel Quickley, Jamal Murray, and Bam Adebayo. Almost another $1 billion in contracts added on in the last week or so. I'm losing count now. Does that make the total $5 or $6 billion?
Wow.
I'm proud of what these guys have accomplished.
I said 5.
They have earned every penny.
I said I thought he'd be around 5.
You did.
Because Coach Saban's number was last year, it got to 1.4. It'll probably be more after this year. And, you know, it can still add to it with his players continuing to play, but that will cool off.
Yeah, and that had Maxey
football
in there.
very different than basketball.
Yeah. So I guess he knew that Maxey was getting his extension before we knew Maxey was getting his extension, because that was
that was a big selling point in the old construct of recruiting. Sure. It's not as much now, is it?
No.
It doesn't hurt.
I mean, it
needs to be applauded.
Helps. Yeah.
You think the impact? Now those players, they had to do the work.
Oh, for sure.
They had to have the ability.
For sure.
But he gets the credit too.
Absolutely.
I mean, we can't be like that.
No, 100%.
Not even I can be like that toward John Calipari.
Yeah.
You think how those families and the lives changed.
Oh, man. It's incredible.
And for hundreds of years.
Oh, yeah.
For some.
Well, and
I know there's probably a tough luck story in there. That's life.
Of course.
Somebody's going to fall through the cracks.
Of course. Oh, and that's a great point.
That's not John Calipari's fault if they do.
No. And that's a great point, because I saw I was reading the comments under that tweet, because I said, oh, man, John Calipari puts out a tweet of him bragging about how much money he's made for his players. Like, this is definitely – everyone's going to be nice in the comment section about this. Like, this is going to be great. So I went through the comments, and, like, one of the first ones I saw –
Please don't tell me one of the first was he's used them.
No. Good, one of them was like, how many of these guys weren't going to get this much money? And, like, kind of pointing to these were all top recruits.
Yeah, but he wasn't just innocent bystander. I'm going to give him – I'm going to give John –
Exactly. Well, wow, what a time. Everybody remember the date.
Of digging in for John Calipari.
I mean, July 1st, 5:36.
Yeah, wow.
But no, you're absolutely right. I mean, how many times do we talk about top 10, top 20 player that just does not pan out? I mean, these guys have worked, and John Calipari's played a big part of that. So, yeah, I think – but after us talking about that and then seeing that tweet, I had to bring it up.
I would guess Marcus Camby was his first big NBA guy.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I wonder if anybody else at UMass even got any contract before him.
That's a good question.
Because he had other good players there.
He did.
Padilla. I think he played.
Travieso. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Lee. Oh, yeah.
But not Camby money.
Not Camby. No,
just somebody getting a check.
Sure.
But they were glad to get it.
Of course. That's better than most.
To get an NBA check.
That's right. That's right. Speaking of NIL, and I haven't been able to read through all of it, but what I have read has been very interesting. Over at the Daily Memphian, Tim Buckley, who we've talked to several times, really good journalist over at the Daily Memphian, he is doing a 4-part series titled Memphis Tigers NIL, a 4-part series, behind-the-scenes look at how name, image, and likeness works at the University of Memphis. Sunday, he put out part 1, lifting the veil of NIL, how the Memphis Tigers really get it done. Part 2 came out today, basketball, football, and NIL, making money as a Memphis Tiger. Tomorrow, part 3, and Wednesday, part 4. And it's interesting reading this because it starts out, like I said, I have not had the time to get through part 1, but it starts out, and they did an interview with Quindell Johnson, the former safety at the University of Memphis, and he's talking about how kind of his last couple years at the University of Memphis was when NIL was first becoming a thing, and he was talking about how, there was a quote in here where he said, I remember walking away with $10,000, and then went on to kind of say, $10,000 was a lot of money at the time for him, and now kind of looking at where Memphis is at today, and with the backing from FedEx, that
what a time.
$10,000 is probably looking like peanuts to some of the players nowadays.
It's not into those players that literally did just play for room, books, tuition, 3 square meals, and whatever. Well, that was a different time.
Yeah.
You signed up for a different deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, but this is a really good story about kind of where it goes and kind of how they do it. And they talk about how this collective and how, they're very by the book, and how, Silverfield basically says, we want this guy, see what you can do on the NIL side, working with them, and let us know, and
let the magic happen.
Let the magic happen. And so they use Mario Anderson in here. How Silverfield was very much like, we've got to have this guy. Like, this is number 1 on my list. Like, go figure out what they want and if we can make it work. And they made it work.
Is Ryan Silverfield quickly becoming maybe not portal king, but close to it?
I mean,
in the King's Court?
Yeah, he's definitely around there. I mean, when you look at what he has done, getting some, really good players.
And then the patchwork. I mean, just the quilt that you have to put together with chemistry.
Of course.
Because this is a cautionary tale about Ole Miss. Ole Miss 2023 that won 11 games was not that different than 2022 that went 8-5 and lost in the Texas Bowl.
You're right about that. And that has everything to do with chemistry.
And the losses the late season loss to Alabama made 8-1 turn into 8-5.
Oh, absolutely.
And last year, take your pick: LSU, Arkansas, Texas A&M.
Yep.
You lose that one, does it spiral out of control?
That's a good point.
What if? I mean, again, my baseline's 11.
Yep.
When we go W's and L's on the Memphis Tigers, it's going to be minimum 11-1.
Yeah.
And I'm wrestling with kind of to be that guy to call the upset at Tallahassee. Sure. But what if?
You've teased it plenty of times.
What if? And I think one of the trap games of the year, Troy, week 2 before Tallahassee.
Yep.
Lose that one.
Yep.
What does it spiral into? Same for Ole Miss. Home against Kentucky. Stole one 2 years ago against Kentucky and Oxford. Yeah. Lose it this time. What does it descend into?
No, that's a good point. And it's very interesting where that Florida State game lands for Memphis, because you're right. You've got Troy the week before, which is not going to be an easy game. And then right after Florida State, you've got Navy, which I don't think Navy's going to be very good this year, but that style they run, coming right out after Florida State, I think both those games have a trap game feel to them because of how big that Florida State game is going to be.
And it will be big. Bright and early that Saturday morning. But a lot of people going through, and I have to see the exact dates, for Saturday, October 12th, may be the day of the year. Ole Miss at LSU, Ohio State at Oregon,
holy cow,
Tennessee at Florida, and there's two more just blockbuster games.
You said October 12th?
October 12th.
October 12th. Let's see. Mississippi State, Georgia, Vandy, Kentucky.
Well, Jack
Ole
Crystal
Miss,
game
LSU,
right there. Dogs versus dogs.
That's good. Florida, Tennessee.
Florida at Tennessee?
Florida at Tennessee.
I think I had it wrong.
Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, USC.
That's it.
That's a really
at
good
Penn
one.
State.
At USC.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Is it?
Yeah, in LA. Anything else that jumps out? Tell me what doesn't scream big time game like Cal and Pitt. I mean, get ready. That has CW game written all over. I don't know if CW's doing their ACC thing again this year. That has CW written all over it. Cal versus Pitt.
I know USC and Penn State's played regular season. They kicked off the season one year, like in that game up at the Meadowlands. But I wonder if Penn State's ever played at the Coliseum regular season. I'm trying to get to Winsipedia now.
Another game that screams Big 12, Cincinnati and UCF. I mean, if that game doesn't scream Big 12, I don't know what does.
Well, it screams a little AAC.
It definitely
Once
screams
upon a time.
AAC. A lot. This week is kind of filled with games that don't make much sense, but that's okay. I guess that's the
and some different Winsipedia games this year.
I believe it. Oh, Texas Oklahoma also that day. I think you mentioned that, but in case you did,
I did not.
Yeah, Texas
and that's kicking off later.
2:30.
Yeah, instead of the mostly traditional 11 o'clock game.
Yeah, no, get ready for that. I mean, it's already rowdy at 11. Imagine
USC
2:30.
6-4 all time over Penn State.
Wow.
You know, they had the great Rose Bowl game a few years ago. Played in 91 at the Coliseum.
Is that right? Wow.
90 and 91. Back-to-back years.
How about that? I got to stop looking
Joe
at this.
Paterno let them schedule that.
Wow.
Well, and then back-to-back years at State College, 93, 94,
yeah,
that's how.
Yeah, that's how.
That's weird.
I need to get off looking at games on October 12th because it's getting me excited for football
Circle
season. Also, looking at that Wednesday.
A lot of screens for you that day. How many open screens for you that day?
No telling.
Where the Tigers
Saturday.
that day?
Tigers, did I miss them on that day? They might be off this week. That might be their bye.
That could be.
Or off week, not a bye. Yeah, I don't see them on this date. But that Wednesday we got CUSA action as well. So, oh no, I see Memphis Friday. That's a Friday night game against South Florida. Another big game. I mean,
it is. If you wanted to just go looking for Tiger losses, if you wanted to be that guy, well, at FSU.
Mm-hmm.
And at
USF, because I think USF's going to be a trendy kind of underdog pick with what they've got and what Golish has done
and
last
not
year.
just the scare of Bama last year.
No. I think they
play Bama early this year too.
Yeah, but you could see last year they got better and better as the year went on. So I'm excited, but kind of feels like after this week, it's completely downhill for college football.
Yeah, and in 2 weeks, I'll be at SEC Media Days.
Hard to believe it's only 2 weeks away.
And it's really a flood then.
Yeah.
But we got FESJC in August.
Mm-hmm.
So and the Olympics.
Oh, that's right.
There'll be in the baseball season. There'll be
sure.
plenty of other stuff, but it really does start to take over with every passing day. As we get into this is my favorite time.
Oh, yeah.
Do you prefer a half? Would you call yourself a first half or a second half of the year guy?
Well, Brett, that's I would say second half because I can still get college basketball and the NBA in that second half. So I would say second half.
It plays into why second half is my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, I get most of college football in the second half.
Sure.
A lot, if not all, most of the regular season of the NFL. All the baseball, the postseason baseball. And my favorite month, other than March, of college basketball, November, with all the different national games.
That's right.
The tournaments, the Champions Classic, Maui, all that. That's I so prefer that month to February in college basketball.
Oh yeah.
That grind, especially when teams see the one for each other for the second time. And you have that 49-48 Penn State-Purdue game. No thanks.
No, not at all. Well, let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, mainly 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
For retro cruiser styling packed with modern innovations, riders of all skill levels choose a Honda Rebel. Incredible motorcycles with a stripped-down style and a full package of features. Both the 300 and the 500 offer compact power inside a lightweight frame. Combined with a low-slung seat, the Rebel is easy to start on. And with new colors for this year, they are impossible to ignore. Go to DeSoto Honda to check out the 2023 Honda Rebels. Cruisers with premium style and performance to enjoy every second. Use the street as a racetrack with the law with your own driving.
Looking for a way to elevate your engine's performance? Start with Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. It provides faster oil flow for hot and cold temperature protection in the harshest driving conditions. Regular use can help your engine run cleaner and longer by defending against sludge and buildup, improving overall engine performance and fuel efficiency while increasing the time between oil changes. Make the switch without slowing down. Feed your ride Napa Full Synthetic Engine Oil. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
Women here in Memphis are wearing bigger, better quality diamonds and some amazing designer rings thanks to the arrival of Genesis Diamonds. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and Genesis came on the scene here last year and shook up the jewelry world big time with rock-bottom prices on diamonds, a selection that's like 20 times ordinary stores, designer rings you can't find anywhere else, and guarantees and warranties that are the strongest in America. A relaxed, no-pressure, laid-back experience with no commission salespeople. Everybody here is loving what Genesis is doing. Whether you want a lab-grown diamond or a natural diamond, Genesis will easily beat anyone else's price. The owner is a former diamond wholesaler, and Genesis has cornered the market on the world's most acclaimed designer rings. They have all the top 10 designers in the bridal world, thousands of handcrafted rings made by the premier designers. For whatever special occasion you have coming up, don't go to the old-fashioned stores for the same old, same old. Discover the store that's raised the bar in quality, selection, and value. Prepare to be blown away. Genesis Diamonds on Poplar at Perkins Extended.
Now back to Sportstime on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, I learned today it's been a busy, busy day in the NBA. It started very early this morning.
I wonder how much has been spent today.
Oh, man, that would be fun.
It might approach Cal's number.
It honestly might. But we had the news early this morning. Paul George is going to be a 76er. Later in the morning, we hear about Tyrese Maxey's extension. Then we hear about about Klay Thompson this afternoon and a sign and trade, and now Jason Tatum gets a big extension with the Boston Celtics. So definitely a big day. No moves yet for the Grizzlies, but I'm sure they'll do something. They still got to figure out what they're going to do with Luke Kennard. They declined his team option over the weekend, but it sounds like rumors they might still bring him back on a different deal. We'll just have to see.
Mid to late August, when we get scheduled, one of the first things we'll go to is when does Klay go back to San Francisco?
Absolutely. That's going to be the big one.
What I learned today, the money's unreal in the NBA, and only going up for the NBA with the new TV deal. It should. Again, the players they do it. No rain, no rainbows. Franchise values going up, payrolls going up, arena costs going up. Guess what's next to go up?
What's that?
Everything associated with going to a game.
Oh yeah, you're right about that. Huh?
It should go the other way, shouldn't it?
It should.
We're getting all the money from over here.
Yeah.
Y'all have been so loyal over here. Let us give you a discount.
Yeah, you're
Doesn't
right.
work that way.
No.
Not at any level. Not just the NBA. I'm not picking on the
you're
NBA.
Right. You're absolutely right. What I could have done without, I don't know if I could say I could have done without this, because I think I like it, even though I could have done without it when I first heard it. But now I'm starting to turn and think maybe I like the move. But we learned yesterday that Zach Edey, the newest Grizzly, will miss the Olympics.
I hate it for him.
Yes. But I mean, it sounds like, it's his decision.
It does, which is a very pro-team Grizzly.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of this.
Absolutely.
More than that.
Yeah. What I'm thinking,
to play for your country and walk out in that Olympic stadium opening ceremony and closing.
Absolutely.
Don't feel bad for Canada, fellas. That team is loaded.
Well, and that's
Don't feel
what
bad
I
for
started
Canada.
to think about is that
it is very loaded.
Is that I think he looked at it and said, I'm probably not going to play
I can
much
get more
for
out of
Team
this.
Canada. Let me go ahead and get acclimated to being a Grizzly, which I do like. But at first, I was with you, but I wanted to see him in the Olympics to be able to experience that, to watch more Canada and say, okay, what are we going to get from this Zach Edey fella? But I'm starting to come around on it.
I could have done without this last night at midnight. The plug got pulled on the Pac-12 network. Never saw it a
Good
single
riddance.
time, and it was along with Larry Scott's horrible leadership. It led directly to the demise of a once great conference that didn't have to end like that.
No. But that's the big one. If you want to look at one thing that led to the end of the Pac-12, that is one that you can point to and say that was a terrible decision that really started kind of that down slope for the Pac-12. Where are you beaming tonight?
AutoZone Park for the very rare Monday game since the revamped scheduling starting in 2021. Coming out of COVID, only 2 big league games left tonight on a light schedule. Baseball.
Oh, man, what are you doing?
Why'd you leave such a void for everybody?
Yeah, not great. Beam me to Arrowhead Stadium tonight in Kansas City, Missouri. Thank you,
What do we got
Darian.
going on there?
USA has to win. Win.
Uruguay.
Yes.
They have to win tonight.
Win
to
or
stay alive.
stay home?
Win or don't get into the knockout stage.
Win or stay home, I guess. But it's
aren't we
it's
at home
weird.
in Kansas
Well,
City?
That's true. But it's a very weird one where it's like, if they win or tie and Panama loses or tie, they're in. So we need a big performance tonight.
Who's got
from
more
the Stars and Stripes.
quality wins? Like at NCAA tournament time.
That's a great question. I couldn't tell you. I don't know enough about these
Go
countries and
USA.
their soccer teams.
And happy Bobby Bonilla Day, Jim.
It is. What a great day for him. Brewers suddenly 16 over 500.
How'd that happen, Brett?
I just looked up this morning. There it is.
Fun team to watch. I mean, I enjoy watching them play, but you're right. It kind of snuck up on you. I guess that's what a weekend against the Cubs will do for you. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
DQ presents
Picture this. Picture the DQ freezer, home to all the Blizzard flavors of the past. Picture it opening to bring back the salted caramel truffle blizzard for a limited time. Picture that salted caramel truffle blizzard in your hands. It's all yours. No, really, it's all yours. This treat is too good to share. Everyone will have to get one for themselves. Hurry in to get this flavor before the DQ freezer closes. DQ, happy tastes good.
There are many real estate companies out there, but then there's Banyan Tree Realtors on the Titusville Town Square. There are hands-on, family-owned boutique real estate companies whose agents have been offering exceptional attention to their clients for over 40 years. In an ever-changing world, Banyan Tree continues to maintain a small-town personal charm while providing a worldwide connection through its internet marketing presence. Personal service will never go out of style at Banyan Tree Realtors. Their agents are people you can trust, offering service you deserve. From residential homes to commercial properties, farmland, land lots, and historical houses, Banyan Tree has the expertise you can rely on. So if you're downsizing, upsizing, moving in, or moving on, give Banyan Tree Realtors a call today. Craig Smith and Mary Jean Smith and their agents are ready to serve you. Call today at 901-620-8920 or 901-359-2520.
Who else is tired of searching countless websites for the perfect tee time? Rapid Tee Golf is here to revolutionize your golfing experience. Booking a tee time is a breeze now. Just one tap and I'm on my favorite course. With Rapid Tee Golf, enjoy real-time notifications and seamless bookings at the top courses. Rapid Tee Golf, tee time on your time. Visit rapidteegolf.com today and never miss out on a tee time again. Visit rapidteegolf.com now.
It's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event. It's going strong at Gossett Kia on the Pike. Are you ready to ride in your new Kia with 41 MPG Highway? We Gossett! 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $199 a month, $34.99 to assigning. How about 282 miles of EPA estimated range with new 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month. And 2024 Kia Telluride LX 357 a month, both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Call Bobby J. He's ready to put you in your new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Rebates and incentives. Lease includes PF 695, 650 acquisition fee, EV6 561 0964, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG 510 849, MSRP 38305, Forte LXS RE 78169, MSRP 21820, plus finance through